Well, hello everyone, GameHounds podcast. It is me, Edie, and Nick, and we are
Howdy.
back. And yeah, this is the show that wasn't supposed to happen because I was supposed to be in Reno, and that didn't happen. And I'm not happy. I was talking to Nick about it. I am not happy about that
For
at
just
all.
for justifiable reasons.
It was. So we'll wait for people to. Oh, there's somebody in here. Is it AC Wraith already in here?
Oh, it's gotta
Must
be
be.
AC Wraith.
It's got to be. No,
Yeah, we
actually,
know.
whoever it was just left.
Oh.
Maybe it wasn't AC Wraith. Anyway, yeah. So I was supposed to be in Reno at another volleyball tournament, and I was actually really looking forward to it because I was actually not going to stay. They're staying at Atlantis, which is where the um,
The actual tournament
connected. Well, the
is
tournament is in the Reno Convention Center, which is attached to Atlantis.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
but they only got one room with two queen beds in it, and it's like, that's just a little awkward. So I'm like, and he's like, you could stay. I'm like, no. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to there's no rooms at the Atlantis. I'm like, they are, but they're hilariously expensive.
Mm,
I'm just going to go down, like, just down the road to the pepper mill. Now, the pepper mill Reno is my jam. It has been my jam for since 1999. I was going there every single summer. That's where we would stop on the way up to Burning Man and then come back, stop
ah.
there on the way to Burning Man. That was like the burner hotel because back then it was like this not trashy, but it was a little, I mean, it was nice, but it was old Reno. Like they had
Nice
this,
with an asterisk.
yeah, no, it was definitely clean, it was nice, but it was definitely showing its age. Like, for example, they had this huge pool outside with this big rocks at one end with a waterfall going down it. And once an hour, on the hour, all these animatronic animals would come sliding out and like,
Oh.
"Ah, ah," and then come back in. And the animals were so flea bitten. Like you could see like holes in them and stuff. It was a bit
Ooh.
like was it
Like Five Nights at
Five
Freddy's?
Nights at Freddy's. And it was fantastic. I mean, it was so bad. It was beautiful.
For
You
someone
couldn't
who claims to not like horror movies, you made going to one.
I loved those animals because it was so kitsch and it was so beaten up and but it happened every hour and it gave me great joy in my heart. Well, then I either was sold by the family that started it or whatever. Anyway, and I don't know if you've ever been to a pepper mill. Let me see if I can pull
Mm-mm.
something up. Pepper mills were a chain of bars and restaurants in the Bay Area that were all kinds of 70s kitsch. Like it was a restaurant, and then off the restaurant was a bar, and it would always be like dark black, dark red velvet, like velvet, dark
Oh,
red,
like there
no,
should be
dark
a layer of
purple.
smoke.
Yes, dark purple, carpets, and it would have, like, these seated areas that were around this area that would have a fountain in it. It wasn't fountain, it was like water. It was like a bar. It was like a table with,
Mhm.
like, an edge around it, and then in the center would be, like, a pool of water with flames coming out. I mean, it was 70s hell. And I remember in Concord, California, okay? Concord Avenue in Concord, California, it could be Sunday morning at 11:30 in the morning, and there were very, let's just say, past their prime cocktail waitresses in
Mm.
black, long black, skin-fitting dresses, black satin dresses. It was so like you'd walk in and you're like, did I just walk into a whole other dimension? That's like 35 years ago. It was insane. So it was kitsch, but it was kind of like cool kitsch. Well, Peppermill Reno, the whole hotel was like that. Plus, it
Okay.
had the animatronic animals. Let me see if I can pull up
And
a
then you said
Peppermill.
it got sold?
I guess,
So
well, all the Peppermill restaurants.
AC Wraith
There we
has a
go.
link
There we
in
go.
the chat.
Fireside
Thank you.
Lounge. It was always known as the Fireside Lounge. Let's see if I can pull this up. It was always all the Peppermill restaurants and bars started to go away. And let's see if I can add it to the stage here. Hold on. So all the Peppermill, like you can see here, like yeah.
I saw that briefly.
Oh yeah. And it looked like that in the 90s. It looked like that. And all the Peppermills started to go away. And then eventually there was the only one left was the Peppermill Hotel in Reno. And it kind of still had that kind of kitsch thing going, but then it kind of started to get more updated. And now it's like now it's very fancy. It's all
Did that Peppermill used to be a Pizza Hut? It's got the Pizza Hut roof.
No. That was a Peppermill roof. They
Wow.
all the there
Really?
it is. There. That's classic. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like in the 90s. So, I mean,
yeah, that's like a scene. That's a set from The Godfather.
It's a set from The Godfather.
No,
It's
not
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas or Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, Saturday Night Fever.
So anyway, the Peppermill Hotel was the last vestige of this. And then it started to get slowly upgraded. So now the Peppermill is nothing like that. It is all, I mean, here, I'll pull it up. Peppermill Reno. Now it's they switched over, they've upgraded everything. It is all like Italianate stuff. I mean, there's the old tower that still have the kind of the kitschy tower rooms with the mirrored ceilings.
Yeah, that looks like a modern hotel.
Right. Now it's a modern hotel with kind of an Italian theme. The pool area is insane. So anyway, this was our jam, and then it changed and it's gotten more upscale. But I still love it because I remember it being Peppermill kitsch.
Yeah.
Well, now yeah, I mean, it's still a little bit on the, that, but anyway.
I mean, like, look, that looks like a centerpiece to a Vegas hotel, right? You walk into
it's
that
Vegas
one
hotel.
that fakes the oh my god, I'm forgetting all the Venice. Venice has the waterways. There's a hotel that has the fake waterway.
Yeah, Bellagio.
Yeah,
there's Paris.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain level of kitsch to all casinos.
Right. But it's very, very nice now. So I was really looking forward to it because 2 reasons. One, kind of going back to the Peppermill, which was kind of Kevin's and my place. And it was a really, really good way to just like break that, because I've always said Kevin kind of wrecked gambling for me, because we did love to go to Reno. We did love to play cards. We loved to gamble up there. That was our place. We actually had cards. We were a gold card holder at one point. But his death day was 7/14/21. And it's like, motherfucker. Couldn't picked a different fucking month. Couldn't have picked a different day. A day before or a day after. Nobody would have noticed. 7/14/21.
Huh.
So it's like, fucker wrecked gambling for me. And it was instantly like the first thing I noticed about like after he died. It's like, bastard. So the fact that I was going to go up to Peppermill, our place, I was going to be alone, but I was going to kind of be with this like next chapter of my life.
And the Peppermill itself has changed substantially.
Right. It was just kind of a good way to fresh start it all. On top of that, they're over and in a hotel, entirely different hotel. I would say goodnight to them. I would go back to my hotel, and then I would gamble. Oh my God, I was looking forward to gamble. I was looking forward to playing some fucking cards, dude. I have not played cards in years. And that's not me. And I could drink. Oh, I could drink. I could drink a lot because I know the bar
You
where they serve
oh,
the strongest alcohol and they have the best win rates on the machines around I know that place like it
I mean,
is a part of me.
it probably changed by now, though.
Oh no,
Those
no, no, no,
machines?
no. I no. No.
Oh, wow.
There's certain things they didn't change, and bless their hearts, there are certain things they didn't change. They have one lounge in that whole hotel that they have kept as a time capsule of the old hotel. So you're in this beautiful hotel and you come into something called the Fireside Lounge, and it's one tiny room, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And they make the world's best, the only place that you can get it in the whole hotel, top shelf mudslides.
What's a mudslide?
A mudslide, it's essentially a chocolate milkshake with booze in it. It's and they, well, I don't know. Do they have they can see a picture. Top shelf
Ooh, that looks good.
slide. I know it is. Top shelf mudslide peppermill.
I
It
mean,
is
that's
kind of like
a
one of
dessert.
the inside. Yeah, I can't find one.
1
Yeah,
ounce
it's one of the
vodka,
inside.
1 ounce coffee liqueur,
Mhm.
1 ounce Baileys, 1.5
There it
ounce
is.
heavy
Oh, there's a
cream,
picture of it. I found a picture. I found a picture of it.
and then shake and pour.
There, that right there. That is a top shelf mudslide from
Oh,
from
that looks
Peppermill.
very different than the picture I'm looking at.
Yeah, yeah. Let me go back. This hold on a second. There we go. There we go. There's a top shelf mudslide from it, and that's actually that picture is in the Fireside Lounge. And actually, the ones that they have are different, are better because they actually put gummy worms in them. I mean, they're over the top, but they're so good. They're fucking amazing. So,
Okay, wait. That's the one that I found.
yeah, no. That's not a mudslide.
Okay.
That's a mudslide.
That is a chocolate shake.
It's a chocolate shake with
The
a
other
bunch
one
of booze in it.
the other one is like a cocktail. That's a
Mhm.
shake. That's a
It's
sundae.
made with chocolate and coffee ice cream.
Oh,
I mean,
ice cream.
oh, it's made with ice cream. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, the one I was looking at isn't ice cream. It's coffee liqueur.
It is essentially they make it in a milkshake machine and they coat the whole inside of the glass with that chocolate syrup. They pour it in and then it's whipped cream and then gummy worms and it's
Gummy worms? What the fuck is
they have gummy worms hanging off of it. Oh, it's insane. It's OTT. So anyway, I'm like, they're gonna go to bed. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna turn in early. See you guys later. And I'd be like, I would be beelining it back to the Peppermill to
I
the Fireside
gotta
Lounge
get my mudslides.
to play some video poker and to get absolutely hammered on I don't know what's gonna kill me first, diabetes or alcohol poisoning. But one of the two things is gonna happen tonight.
Or you go broke.
Right. Well, no. The machines in the Peppermill, and there's two of them. There's two of them that always pay off for me. Always. Where I always walk out with money. And they always do. So anyway, I
Okay.
know where those two machines are. I know exactly where they are. Those are, well, actually, there's about 4 machines, but 2 of them are the best ones. Anyway, that is like you go in there and it's nothing but Reno locals. Nothing but Reno locals and people that had no idea what they were walking into and are terrified, but still kind of interested.
Okay. So yeah, point is Peppermill.
I was looking forward to this. This is going to be awesome.
But then you couldn't go.
I couldn't go because the lady that takes care of Chris's cats couldn't take care of Chris's cats this weekend. So I had to stay behind to take care of the beasts.
Yeah, there are apps for that. I got an app for these guys for when our neighbors aren't able to.
No, these are very, very spoiled cats. Let's just say.
And
So
he's not.
no, not like Woody and Ruby. They're very spoiled. Anyway, so bottom line, I am by myself, and that is why the long version of the story,
Well,
15 minutes in, that's why we're having a show this weekend when we weren't going to have the show
at
because I got
least
left behind.
at least that gives you time to play some games, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Wait, before we get into that, AC Wraith asked
Yes,
about the bottles.
we do have bottles today. We have a choice of horchata or pumpkin pie. Oh, we're getting now down to like the last.
There's
Aren't
only
we?
4 left.
Pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Pumpkin pie soda is what we're going for. And thank you for the link to the Peppermill mudslide. You rock. I love that you found that.
That's very specific.
And AC Race does say it's fine. The stock market gambled your money away
Yeah.
anyway. It really, really did. All right. So survey says on the pumpkin pie soda. Does it taste like pumpkin pie?
Not bad. A tiny bit. I would not have identified it as pumpkin pie if not for the label.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm thinking pumpkin pie, it triggers some sort of placebo effect that makes me go, yeah, that almost tastes like something that would be pumpkin pie.
Oh, I have found the site. I know I'm going over this too much. Here's the site of the Peppermill pictures. I don't know if you can see these. Yeah, right there. There we go. Stand by.
Oh, that's the Vegas version.
Yeah. That's the Peppermill Reno. Hold on.
Well, that says Las Vegas.
Oh, it does? Oh, I guess there is a Peppermill Vegas. Is there? Oh, it is. I guess Peppermill Round. I guess it is. It must be gone.
That looks like a Vegas place.
Yeah, December 26th, 1972. That makes absolute sense.
I mean, what's funny is that looks like a Vegas hotel today.
Yeah, pretty much. But you could get that in Reno, which was great about it. Anyway, sorry. So, so I was able to play games this weekend. Actually, one game. And I'm a little disappointed at myself because I'm still in the tutorial area because I'm just having so much fun running around the tutorial area.
I mean, the tutorial area is like it. I think that tutorial area, I was in there for like 50 to 60 hours. And then you go to another map that's like 4 times the size.
Oh, jeez, I'm terrified of this. But yeah,
I know what I'm saying is you can like do everything in that first map and feel like I got my money's worth. This is a complete game. That's it.
So I have been running around, and in general, when it comes to tutorial areas and RPGs, I like to spend an extra amount of time there and give myself a little bit of a power level up, like try to make the rest of the game a little bit easier by, making it a little extra money or a little extra XP or getting a few extra spells or whatever I need to do in that introductory area. I like to get an advantage for the rest of the game. So because of you, I did go to Tomcat. I also discovered something very important about Tomcat.
Oh, did you get this from the Spiffing Brit?
I discovered it before the Spiffing Brit, but yes, the Spiffing Brit did also discover this because it's a perfectly balanced game. That when you go to Tomcat, he's essentially training you, and he doesn't hit you back. He's trying to teach you how to do combos. So it's like, I'm going to give you 3 hits for you to do these combos, and you need to there's 2 different skills that he teaches you, and you have to learn it twice. I have to do each of those combos twice. Well, I was just having a really hard time getting through the Master Strike. Was it the Master Strike? No, it was before the Master Strike. You have to do 2,
okay.
and then you have to beat him, and then he'll teach you the Master Strike. So the second one of those two, I was having a really, really hard time getting. I could not actually get it to trigger that I'd done it properly. So I spent a lot of time hitting him. Now he's not hitting me. He just yells at me, "You've done it wrong. Do it again. What are you doing? You're doing it from the wrong direction. Do it again." So I spent a lot of time there working at it. And all of a sudden I notice, ding, you've leveled up. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm getting XP from doing this, from hitting him. He's not hitting me back. I'm just striking at him and getting XP. So I spent far longer than I should have intentionally not triggering anything and just hitting him over and over and over again the wrong way. So I leveled up to level 9. And almost like
In
I'm not
sword fighting?
no,
In
I'm
total?
in sword fighting. I think I'm level like 30 in sword fighting now.
Damn. Oh, Jesus. The max is 40.
Yeah. I'm
Damn.
way up there in sword fighting at this point. And I still haven't learned to master strike.
I mean, at this point, you don't need to.
I kind of do because I'm still getting my ass kicked.
I mean, you do because it's so fucking useful.
It really is, and I'm looking forward to doing that master strike because combos really are very difficult to pull off, and you're really, really essential.
Yeah, I the last time I played that, I gave up trying to do the sword combos.
Mhm.
There's like
Me too.
one basic combo where it's like right, left, right.
Mhm.
But you'll always do that automatically just because of the way you attack and then you attack again and then you
Right,
attack. And
right,
so that 3-hit combo is all you really need because you don't need to do anything but mash the attack button.
right, but you have to mash the attack button at exactly the right move. As the first one hits, you have to
Then
hit the second one. So
yes,
it's
but that's
really a
not too
matter of
hard.
timing X,
Yeah. But
doing it at the right moment.
that's not difficult. What's difficult is trying to hit and then change the direction and then hit again. That's a
Mhm.
little annoying.
At
But
exactly the right moment.
yeah, but the Master Strike is great against armored opponents.
Yeah, I have hit that, and it's been a problem.
Mm.
So I've been doing and something that the something that the spiffing bridge did teach me though was the exploit about dice.
Oh,
Did
yes.
you did you
I
know
saw
that?
that. The
So
I know I watched the video of his. For
mhm,
reference, the Spiffing Brit is a YouTuber who makes like
mhm.
game exploit videos.
Yeah.
Uh, very entertaining, very fun. But yeah, I think the one you're talking about is there's a dice that will always land on 3 or
Yes,
6
it's
or something
called
like
the
that.
Saint Antiochus. It never won, and nor shall it before 5 is right out. Always 3, which is a Monty Python joke.
Hmm.
But yeah, so here's the thing is that there is an NPC that you can find in I forget which city it is.
It's one of the first ones. It's like one of the very early cities.
Hmm. Yeah, and hold on a second. My bad. I'm trying to get to this one. There we go. And there. All right. So there it is. So this is the spiffing Brits thing. So here's here's the thing. He's always looking for exploits and finding exploits, but here's the thing is that there is a dice guy that you play with in one of the cities who has one of these Saint Antiochus dice. And you can steal from him. You can sneak in at night and pickpocket him while he's sleeping and get that dice. The thing is that the next day he refreshes and he has that die again in his pocket. So if you keep going back every single night and pickpocketing him and getting the one that always rolls 3, you can essentially win every dice game in one roll because it's all threes. So I realized, okay, this is a really, really, really good way to get some money. So I've been trying to store up all of my money as best as I can.
Okay.
So I'm up
You
to about 800, 900 gold at this point.
okay.
But I don't
Over
have all the die. I'm not going to leave until I have an entire set of Saint Antiochus dice.
okay. Over time, money becomes not an issue, but
Yeah, but I
but
kind
it's
of want my own horse. I
but it's
kind
also a
of
long game.
right,
Oh,
right.
you can oh, you got to progress the story. If you want a
Oh, do I?
horse, if you want a horse, progress the story.
Okay, then I won't buy one.
You'll find a horse.
Here's something else I don't know that you didn't know because you were like, I have to go get the recipe for marigold decoction right
Yeah,
away,
I think I
right?
bought it from. Yeah, I bought it from someone.
There's a bunch of people that have it.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Nick, all you have to do is look online, get the recipe, make the recipe, and it automatically gives you the recipe for
Oh, I get. That makes sense because you can create random potions. You can
it.
just mix
Mhm.
stuff together.
Mhm.
You don't need the recipe. The recipe is just a recipe.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Now I did do it for the Bane poison, which is another one of the exploits that Spiffing Brit
Which
does.
also, like, the last time I played Kingdom Come 2, I think I
Mhm.
looked up how to get a Bane poison because that was the one recipe in all of alchemy. That was the one recipe I did not have, and I couldn't find anyone to do it.
Yep.
There was one city that had an alchemist, and I asked him, "So, how about some poisons?" He's like, "Oh, we don't do poisons here." Jesus, man, what is wrong with you? There was a dude who would do poisons, but he like took off with some bandits to these ruins.
Right.
So I went to those ruins because I'm like, I want to talk to this guy. Turns out he was surrounded by bandits who tried to kill me on sight. So I ended up just slaughtering everyone. And I didn't get my Bane poison.
So yeah, the Bane poison can be found from the one of the gypsy women that's selling
Oh, I
items
got to go back to that first map.
in the nomads camp.
Okay.
She's got it. Which is kind of handy that it's in the tutorial area that you can get the Bane
Yeah.
poison recipe. Now, I did buy it. I didn't have to. All you have to do is make it. So you look it up online, you see what the recipe is, and you make it. And then you got it. But I did buy it because I have so much money and I feel a little guilty about that. But the problem is that now that I have like embarked on a life of crime, let's just say,
Mm-hmm.
because I was trying to, get my sneak and my thievery up. So I decided to rob some houses. See, pickpocketing is one thing. Robbing houses, that's a different one. And I got tagged as a thief,
Oh,
even though I never got caught because I'm the new guy in the area. When things go missing, they assume it's me.
oh. So what I ended up doing, and I got my sneak up a lot pretty quickly, is every now and then I was just like, this night is for thieving. And I would just spend the night lock picking doors, going into people, and I would unlock every chest and every door I found, but I wouldn't take anything.
Right.
I just lock picked everything. Or what I would do is I would always pickpocket them and I'd rob something, but it would always be like the cheapest thing. Oh, you've got a loaf of bread? I'm gonna take that bread. Oh, you've got like some random rosary? I'm gonna take that.
Hmm.
And then I would drop it on the floor. So I would steal it from them and then drop it so that they'd wake up, see it, and they wouldn't come looking for it. But I
Hmm.
would get the lockpicking credits.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, that's a good
it worked
idea.
pretty well.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. Anyway, I ended up coming back to town and they're like, "Hey, you're a thief." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And yeah, so I had to go back to the other town where my bed was, put everything in my chest, then go back to
Mm.
town naked. And they're like, "You're a thief." I'm like, "Okay, I'm a thief. Take me to the pillory." And I had to go to the pillory for a week.
Oh yeah, I remember doing the pillory. That I spent one thing in a pillory.
Mhm. But I did get Mutt back.
Nice.
So
That's
this
good.
is he really does help quite a bit being able to sick them on people if I need to.
Especially in groups, because like you
I
have
can
3
keep one
guys
of them
coming toward
busy.
you. He takes one and keeps him busy, and you're able to take care of the other 2.
Mhm.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah, very useful. So, but he's not quite loyal to me entirely yet. So every once in a while he'll go on walkabout and
Mm.
disappear, and then you're like, Mutt, sick him, Mutt, Mutt. Oh fuck!
You gotta feed him. You gotta pet him.
I've been petting him. I've been feeding him. I actually bought him cooked beef. I bought him bacon.
Oh.
I bought him all the good stuff.
Oh, wow, I'm giving him, like, week-old
No,
sausage
I'm buying him fresh
that I
bacon from
found
the
to the
store,
ground.
straight from the store.
It's like, "Oh, yeah, I killed this wolf. Here, you want some raw meat?"
And I've been drying all of my herbs so that they last forever and that kind of
That's
stuff.
good. That's
Yeah,
good.
drying and
'Cause, yeah,
smoking and drying and smoking.
especially with the flowers, that's really useful because they never once you dry the flowers, they never go down in quality,
Right.
and so you can use those in alchemy.
Mhm.
And so I
Exactly.
find it I always walk around with, like, 10 of every flower on me,
'Cause
dried.
you get a bonus for that?
I do,
I
yeah.
yeah, I have
You
the
can get
perk
the
that gives you
flower
the
power.
bonus. Mhm.
Yeah. Plus due to charisma is always nice.
Mhm.
Oh, what Corey Wallace
Hey, Corey.
in the chat says, "What is the drink of choice?" A pumpkin pie,
Yeah.
which is actually not that bad. It's actually pretty good. Doesn't really taste like pumpkin pie, but it tastes like a sweet soda.
Um, so yeah, and Corey, you will be glad to know we will be talking quite a bit about the Elder Scrolls Oblivion um, remake. It is very much on the top of it. And I was feeling kind of bad. I thought to myself, should I really do KCD2 when everybody else is doing including Goalie is
Yeah.
doing the Elder Scrolls
Okay. I
remake.
mean, I'm not gonna touch that because there was another game that came out the same fucking day that is subtly taking over.
Really? Which one?
Expedition 33
Oh yeah.
came out the same day, is currently the highest rated game of the year on
Really?
Metacritic. Best reviewed game.
Wow. Well, anyway, so that's what I've been doing. I
Oh
thought
yeah.
to myself I really should play the Oblivion remake, and then I
Eh.
realized, no, I really do need to get past where I'm at in KCD2. I mean, this is a game I've been waiting for years and years and years. And I would have killed it the first weekend were it not for the fact that, my life got complicated.
Hmm.
And if I hadn't redone my bathroom, I would still be doing it because I could go to my house and play it. By the way, the
Yeah.
bathroom nearly complete. It would be complete, but I don't know if I mentioned this, is that there's a window that we had to replace, and he had to have the glass custom made because I insisted on it being a custom size
Okay.
for lots of reasons, but it needed to be a specific size. So he had the glass made and he was bringing it to the house and dropped it.
Oh my god.
So he's waiting for the glass to come in again. Otherwise, it would be done. But I do have a toilet and I do have a working sink now. So technically, I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been an ordeal. What about
Not
the
made easier by tariffs, not made easier by oh yeah, and that's the other thing is that the stairs in the back are on permanent hold because
mm.
the
So you have a bathroom, but you
master
can't access the second floor.
no, I can't get out of the back door. But I haven't been
Oh,
able to
okay,
get out of
okay.
the back door for years because the stairs have been rotted. Now they're actually sort of fixed, but it can't be finished because um the master carpenter who has a green card and is legally is a
Oh
naturalized
no.
citizen, is from El Salvador and went back to El Salvador with his mother, as he always does, and now he's afraid to come back because he might not be able to get back into the country. Worse
but
yet, his mother might not be able to get back in the country.
but we're on good terms with El Salvador. They're harboring our gang members, so we should be cool with them, right? Right?
We're not even cool with American citizens. What are you saying? we're
Well, that,
sending we're sending American citizens down there, for fuck's sake.
yeah, to El Salvador because we like El Salvador.
Because they're Guatemalan.
Well, we don't want the El Salvadorians here, but we'll send everyone there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, politics. But yes, that's how
That
politics is
oh my
affecting my
god,
life
yeah,
right now. Is it
one thing
this
after another.
this should have been an 8-week job. It has now been six months. It has been 6 months that
You
I
make
have
a
been out of my house.
you make a
Because
very good case against home ownership. I am happy to still be renting.
you know what? Here's the thing: is that if something broke in your house, it wouldn't be any different for you.
I mean, except I wouldn't have to deal with all that stuff.
No, but you would be able to live in your house. If you got a water leak in your apartment right now and you were not able to live there, you'd be in the same situation as me. You'd be displaced. Now,
Mhm.
the financial burden would be different, but you
Yeah,
would
I wouldn't
still
have to
be
pay for it.
displaced.
True.
To be honest, the payment, the money is not the issue. The money has not changed. It's
Yeah,
gone
it's
up
the
a little bit,
time.
but it has not changed because all the materials were all purchased way ahead of time. I mean, I haven't paid any money for this in 4 months.
Does that
It's
mean it
not
hasn't
the money,
progressed?
it's the time. Mhm.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that I'm, living at somebody else's house and, buying food for 3 people instead of 1. 4 people most of the time, actually. But yeah, no, it's the time. It's being displaced and if I didn't have, kindness whose strangers I could rely upon, um, it would be a very, very, very different calculus here. But anyway.
Okay.
But yeah,
Anything other
Kingdom
than
Come Deliverance.
KCD
It's still
2?
amazing.
Yeah.
The story of
How
Henry is still compelling.
how much of the main story have you done?
Um, I got I got Mutt back. That's the
Oh,
most of the
okay.
main story. Oop, sorry. That's the most of the main story that I've done. I got Mutt back. I still haven't gotten Sir Hans is still missing. I have not gotten any farther in getting the invite to the castle.
Yeah, in the wedding, that's what you're
The
working
wedding.
towards now, right?
Right.
You're
Right.
working with the
We're very close to that.
you got the blacksmith or the miller were the 2 options you could go for.
I went for the blacksmith.
Okay, yeah, I did that. I did
So
blacksmith too.
I still have to go get the cart because the cart is like a very distant thing. So I'd rather do all the stuff close, but
Hey,
60.
go yeah, do the cart thing because in the course of tracking down the cart, you'll end up with a horse.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Yeah, I've been putting off the cart because it is farther away and I would have to
Yeah, it's
run by
far
hand.
south,
Mhm.
right?
Also, early on, you don't have a lot of fighting skills. I now have fighting skills to be able to defend
Mm,
myself on the road. Whereas before, I
yeah.
would not have been able to defend myself, and I didn't want to do any kind of defending myself without Mutt giving me a hand. So I needed to get Mutt so I could go down and get the cart. And now I'm kind of like looking for Marika. I'm looking for, girls that are missing. I'm
Mm.
stealing loots for guys in the store and then by killing deer so I could get replacement strings for their loots and
I doing the loot guys. I like the loot guys.
I
They're
don't
fun.
God, they're
Oh,
annoying when you're playing
oh
dice
yeah,
because they keep on saying fuck all the time. Fuck. Fuck. It's when you're sitting there a little while um playing dice, they're super loud and they keep saying the same thing over and over again. So it's annoying.
gotta get them the loot so they leave. Then
That's kind of why I want to get rid of them. I want to get them out of my life. Anyway, Kingdom Come Deliverance, as you all know, fantastic game. Enough said. Anyway, what have you been playing?
I am playing the same things that I did last week, but I
Mhm.
have finished Atomfall.
Oh, okay.
Finished it last yesterday,
Mhm.
and I'm really happy for a game that was kind of about kind of a choose your own adventure esque game in the way it handled quests.
Mhm.
And so you kind of wake up in this quarantined British, not island, but like this section of Britain just after World War II. And you don't really have any objective and kind of have to figure out on your own what's going on and how to escape. And there are 6 different characters you can talk to as you explore that will offer you a method of escape. And each of them is associated with a different ending. But for the most part, all of those endings are like the final split is at the very end of the game. So I was
Mhm.
able to get to the very end of the game, and depending on like which levers I pulled and buttons I pressed, I could then run to one of those other characters to see what their ending was.
Mhm.
So I didn't have to replay large sections of the game to see all the different endings. I just had to replay like the last 10 minutes, which is nice for a game that, for so long I've been all these like plot threads have been webbing out, and the fact that I don't have to, oh, this person's ending up here. I don't have to go all the way back 6 hours to then reset and see someone else's ending.
Right.
And that's nice. And the game itself remained just like a kind of cool, fun game.
A Fallout clone is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, well, it's not. I would say it has more in common with Far Cry 2 than with Fallout,
Mhm.
because Far Cry 2 was a game that was interested in limiting your resources. And this is a game that very early on, you only have melee weapons. When you find a gun, it is a rusty gun. Uh, for a long time, you'll have a shotgun that is a single shot. So you
Mhm.
shoot, then you have to reload. Then you shoot, then you have to reload. And so when you're fighting a group of 3 guys coming at you with axes and sickles and knives, you shoot one, but then the other 2 are right on top of you. And so it's not the most useful thing. Later on, though, after you get a perk that allows you to improve the guns, after you find a group of soldiers that can have better guns, then that starts becoming more of a thing. And the gunplay becomes a more central part of combat. And thankfully, the gunplay feels really good.
Mhm.
And it definitely feels good to go from I'm just a dude with like a cricket bat going, stay away, man. I just need to get past this group of outlaws. And you just kind of take a wide berth and you're like, are they coming after me? Are they coming after me? To, I got a pistol, boom, 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 3 headshots, you're dead. And then I just keep on walking. It's like, I've got the ammo to do it. I don't have to worry about that. I've got the supplies. And so the progression from resource strapped to resource rich is really, really satisfying.
Mhm.
But that resource scrapped beginning is really fun because it forces you to like be careful, to think about how you're going to approach something, to not
Right.
just
Right.
run in guns blazing all the time. Because, hey, my ammo's limited. I've only got 5 shotgun shells. Is there a way that I can sneak up on these guys and kill them stealthily? Or should I just try to use melee? And so that process, that different way of approaching things is really, really fun. The
Mhm.
world itself, it begins as this really unknown place because you get maps. Each section of the game has its own map, uh, but you don't have an overworld map. And so every
Mhm.
time you enter a new area, you get a map of that area, but you don't see everything all together. And so as you make your way through the game, you're kind of slowly piecing together how this map works. And at the center of it all is this place called the Interchange, which is like this giant secret underground bunker that links to all of the different areas. And as you progress through the game, as you bring more areas of the interchange online, as you unlock more doors, the interchange almost acts as a fast travel. There is no actual fast travel, but you're able to go from one map, enter the interchange, then from the interchange, run a little short jaunt and enter a new area map. And so a run that would have been 5 minutes, if you go through the whole map, ends up being 2 minutes by going through the interchange. And it's like, oh, I've figured out how to navigate this world. I know where to go. I know my way through it. And again, that sense of uh unlocking a labyrinth, you know, becoming accustomed with the maze, because the interchange is maze like at
Hmm.
first. And so as you go through and you become more familiar with it, that's really, really satisfying. And the whole game is filled with little mini gameplay loops like that, where it begins really hard. It begins like you're on the back foot all the time, but then you get more familiar with it, you get more resources, and that's just a really satisfying loop. And so by the end of the game, running around with all these guns, with a giant mace, and making decisions about the future of everyone's lives here, it's like, oh, I went from a nobody to a somebody. And yeah, that the arc that it's able to do for that is really fun and interesting.
Good. This is clearly a game that I very much want to play. Um, Unfortunately, there's a number of RPGs that are on my list right now that are all very, very, very
Yeah.
long RPGs,
And
but
thankfully,
this
this
is
one,
perfect for filling in that because it's not very long, right?
no, no. I think it's probably about 30 hours.
Mhm.
And I spent a lot of extra time in there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this full playthrough, and it is, 5 hours and 51 minutes. So,
Well, okay,
that's somebody going through just the main story.
yeah, that's probably a bit of a speed run. It will
Right,
definitely take
right,
you
right.
longer than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's no Kingdom Come.
It's no Kingdom Come, it's no Oblivion, it's
No, no.
yeah, it'll feel it'll and it's a good one to have just sitting at the ready, waiting for when I need to have
Yeah.
that
And it's
something.
it's on Game Pass too.
Oh, even
So
better.
in theory, you can play it streaming too, wherever you are.
Nice. Okay,
So that's
good,
good.
good. Anything else?
More of, was it the first Berserker, Kazan,
Mhm,
which
mhm,
is just the kind of anime Souls-like game.
right?
Don't have a whole lot extra to say about that, except the combat just still feels so fucking good. It's so good. I want I think about the game when I'm not playing it. Just the rhythm of combat, the way that bosses. I guess the one thing of what I'll say is I have found the levels in the game to be pretty easy.
Uh-huh.
Like as you go through a level and you kind of explore, oh, which way am I going? You're just exploring these environments. The enemies that you fight along the way, they can give a little bit of challenge, but for the most part, pretty easy. Like I can go through an area and kind of get from the beginning to the boss in an hour, hour and a half. It's like, oh, this wasn't a challenge. Then I spend 3 hours fighting the boss.
Mhm,
It's like it almost feels like a boss rush game because of that. The It's not. There's a lot of environments to go through, but the environments are way less challenging than the boss, and so my total game time has been massively taken up by boss fights rather than exploration, which
mhm.
would be a problem if the boss fights weren't so freaking good. But every single one of them, the first time I fight the boss, I think this is impossible. This guy just kicked my ass so bad. This guy gave me a status. Every time this guy hits me, my max health gets lower. So I'm like, how am I supposed to beat this? Every time I get hit, my max health gets lower until, you know, 30 seconds into the fight and I'm at 1 HP. It's like, what am I supposed to do? But over the course of fighting him a little bit longer, I start to get a sense of his rhythm. I start to get a sense of each of his moves. That boss, see if you can look up like Marquez,
Marquise?
Yeah, Marquise. Kazan Marquise boss. Um. Oh, what the hell was that guy's name? It started with an M. Gives you chaos.
Marquise. No.
Oh, Kazan. What are all the Kazan bosses? Just give me a list of
All
bosses.
bosses, all endings. Standby. PS5. I'm
Okay, wait, Viper,
seeing
Volcano. Oh, Maluka.
Maluka.
Maluca. Oh Jesus,
Got it. I'm on it. We're taken care of. You just keep
no, I know.
talking.
I'm just looking at this list of bosses, and I'm like, okay, I'm not quite halfway through the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. Anyways, so this Maluka guy, real pain in the ass, because he transforms into this form that, like I said, gives you if he hits you, then he lowers your max health. And the first time I fought him, I was like, this guy is such a pain in the ass. I can't beat him. Then I play, I get a sense of the rhythm, I learn his moves, I beat him, and I'm like, yes, I beat him. Now I can move on. Except the armor that he dropped is pretty good. It gives like some of the armor in this game works in sets. So if you have a complete set, you got a hat, you've got a chest piece, you've got legs, you got shoes, you got gloves. If you have all of them, they give you perks. And depending on how many you have, you get perks. So if you get equipped 2 of the same set, you get a perk. 3, you get an extra perk. 4, you get an extra perk. And the perks that came with his armor were pretty good. And
Mm-hmm.
so I thought, well, if I fight him again and I beat him again, then I'll get more armor. And so I fought him again after I beat him. And the first time I fought him again, I died. But then I beat him 6 times in a row. And not all, they weren't it wasn't easy because some of those fights were like really down to the wire. But I still beat him 6 times in a row. This guy that felt impossible. Like by the time I had beaten him, I had just internalized all of his moves and all the rhythm of how to fight him that I could just do it. I could just beat him. And again, like Adamfall, that arc to be able to go on that arc over the course of like several hours is really satisfying. To go from impossible to I can kick his ass. There's just nothing quite like it. It's what makes a good Souls like. So I'm addicted to that feeling, and Kazan is providing that feeling in spades.
Sorry if I'm distracted. Chris just said he's leaving Reno now and just got an alert that there is chain restrictions on 80 between him and me. He
What's
doesn't
a
have chains.
what's a chain restriction?
Uh, Going over, you have to have snow chains.
Oh, I've never had to deal with snow chains, so I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, there's that. And I'm seeing
Hmm.
on SIG Alert that there are chain requirements between California and Nevada
Does he have
state
chains?
line and Nyack Road, exit 157. No. Where is Nyack Road? God, if it is, it's
So wait, is he worried that he'll need chains but he doesn't have them?
yeah, no, he
Or
doesn't have change. Both. Yeah, exactly. Let me keep talking. I'm trying to figure out where.
okay, I kind of said I said my piece about Kazan. Um yeah, Maluka's cool. Shoot, what else have I been playing? Oh, hey, we chat, do you want to play Sinatru Nerdle today? We can play the Sinatru Nerdle game.
Well, I mean, we could move on to like oh, it is actually requiring chains. there's the chain restrictions from there. 80 west. 80 east. Okay, 80
Okay.
west.
Okay, chat, help me out here. So we got Midsummer, Nacho Libre, 13 going on 30. Greatest Showman, Oppenheimer. This is tough. No, wait. Okay, Florence Pugh was in Oppenheimer and Midsummer. And Black Widow. So if we move that... Okay, that's probably Florence Pugh, but I don't know what else she was in. Yeah, Goalie, we haven't talked about Oblivion yet. Neither of us have played it either. I've got too many other things to play. Oh, I think Iron Claw and Greatest Showman. Oh, well, that's lucky. Oh, and that would be that bottom row is High School Musical Kid. Dirty Grandpa?
I don't know
Yes,
why
Zac
they're asking.
Efron.
Oh, there it is. King Vale. Ooh,
Oh, Jack Black.
Honor Pass.
Florence Pugh, Mark Ruffalo. I would not have gotten Mark Ruffalo. But now we need the 5th movie. Okay, once we get this 5th movie, we'll move on to news, regardless of what Edie's state of the search is. Midsummer, Foxcatcher,
Okay.
Poor
All right.
Things.
I'm back. I'm back. All right. So what are we looking at now?
Okay, wait. So Oppenheimer was a biopic. Foxcatcher was a biopic. Maybe The Greatest Showman was a biopic? No, that one didn't work. Okay, Tropic Thunder was like a meta commentary.
Poor Things.
Dirty Grandpa. Poor Things has like zombies, but none of these other things have zombies. Oh wait, Iron Claw's wrestling. Nacho Libre's wrestling. Fighting with My Family's wrestling. Foxcatcher is wrestling. Has
Well
a
done.
professional wrestler.
There we go.
Okay. Okay. And then let's move on to news.
Okay. All right. So anything else before we hit the news?
If only we had a format after 779 episodes. Hey, we're keeping it. We're mixing it up. You never know what we're going to throw.
And we forgot to do the intro.
No, I thought we did the intro. Did we? Oh,
this podcast discusses video games, pop culture.
Do you want Goalie to come on and talk about Oblivion?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey Goalie, I'll send you an invite. Stand by.
Yeah, we're gonna have someone to talk about it.
Shoot, I don't have it. Let me just copy
thank you.
it.
Thank you for the link. That's what we were playing.
And let's see. Do I have Goalie's email on this? I think I'm going to have to, man, I don't have his, you know what? Can you send him, Nick? I am going to send you in private chat.
Do I have his email?
Yeah, I'm sure you have his email. Because I definitely don't have his email here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Let's see. All right, I'm sending you the link to go to allow into the chat, into the stream. If you could forward that to Goalie.
Okay. I hope that you sent it through private chat.
No, not through private chat, because you can't copy and paste through private chat. I sent it via your email, your Gmail account.
Okay. I don't see it yet. Got an ad from Hulu talking about the anime. Oh yeah, have you heard of something called the something apothecary? The Apothecary Diaries? AC Wraith, have you heard about that? I've heard that it's like a shockingly good mystery.
A movie?
Anime show.
Oh, anime. No, I have not.
It's new on Netflix. I gotta check it out. Okay, got the link.
Okay.
Sent it to
Oh, AC
Goalie.
Ray says love it.
Yeah, love it. Okay. I've heard raved things about it since season 2 and still good. Okay, I'll have to check that out on Netflix.
So Goalie, the link should be coming to your email right now.
Your Gmail specifically. I
Your
had a
Gmail.
Gmail and an AOL, and I assume Gmail is probably easier to access.
I don't know. And do you find yourself discriminating against people with AOL or Hotmail addresses?
I don't discriminate.
I do.
But I'm like, oh, interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think interesting. You don't see that often.
I have been reviewing many, many job applications when we were doing our job
Are you
search.
prejudiced against non-Gmail?
There was a little bit of prejudice against people that were using AOL or Hotmail. And there's a legitimate concern about that both of them are unsecured emails, and I require my people that are going to be working with me to be up on that kind of stuff, that they need to be technologically savvy enough to know that you really shouldn't be using Hotmail or AOL at this point.
What about Yahoo?
Yahoo, another one. It's another one. It's like, I can appreciate you've had this email since forever, but what I would do is I would have that email forward to a Gmail account, because that is way, way, way more secure. And that clues me in that maybe this person isn't as technologically facile, or at least can evolve with technology, which is what I require of people. It's you need to be ready to pivot to when there's a new solution. You need to be ready to pivot and not be someone that says, I always do this. This is how I've always done it. If you're the person that says technologically, but we always do it this way, this is how we've always done it. It's like, but there's a better way, and it saves time and money. Yeah, but I don't want to learn anything new. That someone cannot work for me. Not in the job that I'm doing. Send it to his GameHounds address. I'm not sure that he still has access to it. I'm not sure if that forwards to his email. I just want to take the chance. I honestly don't remember what his Gmail address is.
Well, I sent him a text, but I haven't gotten back yet.
Okay. Yeah, there's the link to the Apothecary Diaries. Yeah, we did not play that, so I'll have to add it later. And if you're listening on the actual audio show, I apologize. I'm gonna have to drop it in, but I'll do it seamlessly.
Okay, well, we can talk about Oblivion news.
Sure, let's do that. All right, let's hit. Wait a minute. Wait for it. Let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick Nicola. And our first item is,
I don't know. You have all the
I have all the Oblivion stuff. All right, so the Oblivion. Where's my news notes? Okay, so Oblivion came out. Oblivion Remastered. It dropped last week. What was it? Wednesday, Tuesday last week?
I thought it was Monday.
Was it Monday? No, it wasn't Monday. I think it was Tuesday.
Okay.
That it dropped.
Oh.
In the way that we expected it to be, it was a shadow drop.
I can hear myself in the background. Does anyone else hear me? Test.
I can hear you.
Oh. Okay, I'm not there, but Goalie is.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wait, no, is that the original guide?
This is.
Oh my God. The original.
It is expanded and revised with the covers, Knights of the Nine Continents.
Wow. You got the old strategy guide.
I still have the hardcover. Listen, Nick. Wow. It sounds like I'm hitting your head.
Wow.
That's the Skyrim second edition hardcover book. The first one was the Oblivion cheat book, the
No, yeah, strategy guide.
strategy guide. That's what I meant.
I bought these things back in the day, and many strategy guides with the idea that it would help me get through the game, like how do you get by this boss, and it kind of doesn't. It's just like, oh, here's what. Okay, I'm looking at sheep. Okay, their combat skill is 10, and their stealth is 10. It's like, what does that mean? How do I kill it?
Like, how does that help me in the
How
moment?
do you kill a goat?
If I go to this town here, if I go to this here and talk to her, it does a lot of talking, but it doesn't do a lot of helping. But it's fun to look at.
I mean, like the covers are cool.
Oh yeah. The graphics are awesome. Yeah.
So you were there day and date. You were actually already jumping into Skyrim.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. Now, I'll keep it short because I know
I
you
don't
guys
understand.
Wow, we go on forever.
All right. I'll try to keep the story short because I know you only have a 3.5 hour show. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
we're only a third through it.
Yeah.
So I got the itch to play Skyrim. Don't know why, but I'm like, I haven't played a video game and turned on the Xbox in years. But like, I want to play
I gotta
some
take
Skyrim.
a call. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Right? Because this is not important, by the way.
No.
I haven't been on the show in 17 years, but
we got to talk about snow tire chains.
is that what you're talking about? Snow tires?
I think so. She had to help Chris look for some figure out what roads coming back from Nevada require snow chains.
Is there snow out there right now?
I know,
because that's a weird thing to ask
roads,
at the end of
apparently
April.
some roads are requiring snow chains. I don't know. Anyways, Oblivion.
No.
You want to stick with snow chains?
This has got me perplexed. I have not been on the show in so many years, and now here we are, and it's April 20. It's April 27th over here. Is it April 27th over there?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're at the end of April, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there's a place in the United States right now that's not Alaska, right?
As far as I'm aware, somewhere between California and Nevada.
Okay, so allegedly, and we're trying to find out why you might need snow tire chains on your car.
Okay, let me Google Nevada road snow chain requirements.
And so I'm assuming there must be snow on these roads, or is this just like a random check that they're pulling people over to make sure they get chains in their car?
I don't know.
I was listening earlier, and she's just like, "I'm talking about chain." I thought it was like coming in on a plane, and they were making a change in the plane. Like they were getting...
I guess there are some roads that require a snow chain, and Chris does not have snow chain, so he needs to know what roads to avoid coming back.
So it must be
that is my best guess.
Oh, so you think these like a really muddy dirt roads with like like the Bugs Bunny cartoon road that's really thin and you could fall off the cliff, so you need some traction or something?
They could be. It could be for mud, right? Because it rains in April, not usually snows. What are the roads between here and Nevada? Is there something snowy between here and Nevada?
Maybe is he up in the mountains? Is that where
where's Reno? Is Reno
up in the mountains? Is that where Mount Kilimanjaro is?
I think so.
They could be like Nevada, driving through Mount Kilimanjaro.
Let me find Google Maps.
And yeah, this is pretty cool actually. That we're at the end of April and we have a snowstorm that's going to require chains.
I don't know if it's a snowstorm. It might just be like a mountain road, right? A mountain path that requires it.
There's I've never been. I live here in New England, as you know, and I've never been down a road that requires chains.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
At this, he'll have to go through Tahoe, and Tahoe does snow. I don't know if it snows now, but it is definitely a area in California known for its snow.
Yes, this is now over here in New Hampshire. They have this place called Mount Washington, and Mount Washington is some kind of observatory on this mountain, on Mount Washington, if you will. And yeah, oh bless you. Oh wow, look at you. Wow. We finally have guy time, and you're going to spend it sneezing. Oh my gosh, we get rid of the chick, and we can't even have guy time without you sneezing.
No, I'm good. No more sneezing. No more. Okay, well I'm good.
Oh my God.
Okay, AC rate linked to Nevada traction and chain requirement descriptions. And Corey Wallace said maybe it's a dust storm. I don't know. Apparently here's a more detailed breakdown. No, I want to know what is the Lake Tahoe snow report right now. Okay, as of 8 hours ago. Oh, but this is for skiing.
Depending on the time of the year, seriously, depending on the time of the year, they might have snow. I know that Mount Washington place I was talking about sometimes does have snow. So it could be. It's just a little weird to have snow.
Oh, absolutely.
Weather this time of year.
Snow reports. Yeah. Okay. Where was it? Corey Wallace also asked about Oblivion. Does it have the horse armor? Or do you have to pay extra for that?
I think it's in there. Like I say,
okay.
I didn't get the deluxe edition, which was another $10. I don't know why. I have no idea why I didn't get it. I didn't spend the extra $10. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this, you know.
What comes in the deluxe one?
I think you actually horse armor, no joke. You get horse armor, and you get a couple of extra quests in there. I don't know if it's a quest line or if it's a quest, but it was $10. And so what I figured is I would just get Oblivion and check it out, and if it's any good, then I will get I'll pick up the DLC after that. But I want to see if I want to play it. So all right. So here's how the story goes. All right, we're gonna have to do it without her. Okay. I'm getting the itch to play.
We can see her camera. It's just empty chair.
Yeah.
Here, let me. She's here in spirit.
You think she's making him a sandwich? That would. Oh man, probably. So that's what I'm thinking. If she could just make him a sandwich, so that way when he gets his chains on, he can come home and have a sandwich. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just waiting.
It's nice to see her kind of changing from who she was to who she needs to be, you know. I really like that, you know. So, but it's good to see her. I mean, this is the best she sounded in years right now, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, looking at her right here, this empty chair.
This is the most compelling Edie has been on the podcast.
Oh my God, just the most reasonable she's ever been since I met her too. It's like she's so down to earth right now and so like normal.
Edie, don't you agree? You have to say you don't have to agree with us.
If you don't agree, don't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, damn it.
Hey there. Oops, I guess I didn't get myself out of here. Sorry about that.
I added you back.
Oh, you did? Why?
Because you were here in spirit.
We weren't talking about you, so.
No, we weren't talking about the
Could you hear me? Is that what the situation was?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
We did not hear you making a sandwich.
No, I was not making a sandwich. No, I just got,
Okay, are you dealing with the snow report?
Was it snow?
No.
Oh, it wasn't
this is
the snow
something
chain.
all new, all interesting, all hitting
geez.
at once.
So-
Chris's dad is in the hospital now getting IV antibiotics.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. So all of this is happening all at once because this is my life.
Did he get run over with the tire chains?
No, he's always had a dodgy foot, and he had a wound. He is 93. He's got diabetes. By the way, hey, if you have diabetes, don't fuck around because this is what happens. Ulcer on his foot. He keeps going back home to his wife, who for some reason cannot care for his foot properly, and it keeps getting infected.
While you describe him, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay, do that. So yeah, no, and I sent him back, and after months of me cleaning, rebandaging, taking care of his ulcer on his foot for months. They sent him back to his wife. He was there 3 weeks, and now his foot is so infected he's in the hospital and they're giving him IV antibiotics.
Oh man. Oh.
And he's like, I don't know how I'm going to get up there and back to you now so that you can take care of me. I'm like,
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say I think that his wife is intentionally infecting his foot with something, but it is absolutely amazing.
There's something they're doing
Every
wrong.
time we send him back with an almost perfectly healed foot, he
It
comes
yeah.
back with a massively infected foot that takes months of treatment on my part. Anyway, of course, all of this is hitting while Chris is like, snow chain controls coming over the pass to get back here.
Yeah, so
sorry,
we were
that's
wondering if it
fine.
was.
This is why wine was invented.
Just didn't know if they were having snow in the mountains somewhere, or if it was like a tiny road that required chains for grip or
No.
something.
No. This is a major highway. This is the major highway between California and Nevada over the Sierras, Highway 80, which is actually starts in California, ends in Maryland. That highway over the pass, the over the Sierra, the summit is requiring chains because there's snow on the ground.
Okay,
it's not
so
snow. It's new snow, significant snow.
Okay, so
we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
He has all-wheel drive, and back in the day, it's one of the reasons why my first car that I ever bought new was a Subaru. Back in the day, it'd be chain controls, and they'd be like pulling everybody over for change, and they'd see you have a Subaru, and they just wave you through because they knew that you were all-wheel drive.
And you're gonna die. Okay.
Yeah, no, just you had all-wheel drive. You didn't need snow change because you had all-wheel drive. The Tesla has all-wheel drive. I'm assuming that they're gonna let him go because of that. But then again, that may have changed. Those rules may have changed. But it used to be, it's like, oh, you have a Subaru.
So there is snow on the ground in late April. Okay.
Oh yeah. It's snowing. It's snowing in the Sierras right now. Still.
Last weekend, I went out to the middle part of Massachusetts and ran into some friends and talked to them. And the week before, they had like 4 or 5 inches of snow, and I wouldn't have got there because all the roads were shut down because it was a freak storm. So it's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
But now we should be go.
Yeah, and we don't salt roads up here in when we have snow. There's even in the Sierras, they don't salt roads because it's so damaging to A, vehicles, but B, to the environment around it, and that's of course going through the Sierra forest.
Oh, yeah, I can see all that.
Yeah, so they don't salt roads here. But then again,
Crazy.
we don't usually get a lot of ice. I mean, you can have chain restrictions, but it doesn't usually mean, a big deal. We'll see. We'll find out. We're keeping posted. I'm just, here in Central Command.
All righty.
Anyway.
So getting back to Oblivion. So I get the itch to play Skyrim. Don't know why. I just do. And I tell my buddy Dalton, remember Dalton, my buddy Dalton, and I'm like, I want to play Skyrim again, and I'm going to get it on the PC, right? So I put it in my wish list for Steam. Don't you know, this is the only 2 weeks of the year that it's not on sale, is the 2 weeks that I've been looking for it, right? I do have the original Oblivion. I picked that up for like $5. It's like, okay, I'll get Oblivion for $5. So he tells me about this site called Fanatical. Have you ever heard of Fanatical?
No.
Nick, I can't hear you, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, fanatical.com.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So he goes, I think it's on sale. So we're at China Jade, no joke. And he's getting wasted because he's going through some things in his life. So he goes, look it up. So I look it up on my phone, fanatical.com, and they have the Skyrim special edition. Instead of $40 on Steam, it was 78% off. It was like $8.25.
Oh, wow.
And I says, is this like legit? He's like, yeah, it's owned by like GameSpot or something like that. So it's not just like, D. Nicola codes, it's a legitimate site.
Yeah, AC Wraith says that he's mentioned it multiple times and put links in the Discord. You've even spoken about it on the podcast.
Oh, well, you know me. My brain's not working very properly right now. Anyway.
Yes.
So I put in my credit card, I get it, and I get a code, and I put it in Steam, and voila, I have Skyrim Special Edition.
Nice.
So I start playing it. So I go on YouTube, and I'm like looking up Skyrim videos, and all of a sudden this Oblivion stuff starts coming out. Now this is a week ago, last weekend, okay, and so then it's
did you know that the remaster was coming out?
No, because I didn't find out till I started playing Skyrim. That's what makes this whole thing very eerie, very creepy.
Really? Because it's a worst kept secret. I mean, they didn't admit that they were doing it, but everybody knew they were doing it.
So what did it come out Tuesday? So this is Thursday or Friday of last week, a little over a week ago, and I'm whatever. I'm playing Skyrim, and I'm like 8 to 10 hours into it, and enjoying it. It's Skyrim. I like it. And they're like, "Wow, Oblivion remastered, Oblivion this," and no, it's a joke, it's a joke. And so I followed the drama with a lot of channels on YouTube, and until Tuesday, when was it Bethesda come out and they had the thing on Twitch, and they were like, we remastered Oblivion and it's out right now. And so I was like, okay, this is great. So that's Tuesday. And I had Tuesday off the whole day, the whole night. And so I go on to YouTube again, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until let's see. It's $40 or $50. It's like, I don't want to spend $50, on a Steam game right now. Let me hear it. And all of a sudden, all these people, like Corey said, it's a 128 gig download. It is huge. And so all these people, they're on their YouTube channels, and they're saying, I got 46% to go, and it's going to be here for the next 3 hours. So it's took for all these people. You couldn't just download and play it. You have to download it. So all these people were talking about, I can't wait to play it. Now here's my countdown. Everybody's got the countdown, how long it's taking to download. But a few people got it and started playing it, and they were like, they just said, get it. It's amazing. And nobody had a bad thing to say. And, there's the skeptics that were ready to jump all over this and the whole bit. So I caved. In my weakness, in my video game weakness, I caved. And I put it in my cart, and then I went to Fanatical, and they had it 10% off. So instead of 50, it was 45. And so I picked it up and I downloaded it, and it took 3.5 hours over here on a brand new computer and a decent Comcast connection. 3.5 hours.
Wow. And
then you spark it up, and it takes it took another 5 or 10 minutes to do this. I don't know if it was some kind of a shading or a graphics thing. So the very first time, it took a long time to do something. And I thought, oh, great, my computer can't handle it. It's a brand new computer. It won't work. And then that got done, and it fired up. And from the opening screen, you would just, oh, my gosh, this is Oblivion? It looked like a brand new game. If you didn't tell me it was Oblivion, I'd be like, wow, this game's awesome. What is this new game?
Yeah.
And right from the get-go, from the opening scene that you're watching here, when you're with the Emperor, and it's Patrick Swayze or Patrick Stewart or Stuart Swayze.
Yeah, Stewart, yeah. Professor X.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. The guy that played in, okay. His character is completely remade. It doesn't look anything like the old one, and you just see all the wrinkles in him and the whole bit. And somehow my computer is playing at the second highest setting, which is Ultra. It just said you can play Ultra, so I'm playing Ultra. Oh, Ultra is very good. I dropped it to high. You want, if you can get it to Ultra, Ultra is just night and day.
Noticeable difference.
Oh yeah. And if you look at him right here, I mean, look at that. That's what he looks like. It's insane.
Those are some wrinkles.
Yes, yes. Every character, like the Argonians, like the lizard people, everybody is redone, and it's unbelievable how it looks. So I bit the bullet. I got it. I took a chance. I started playing it, and just the graphical remake itself is unbelievable. But what is interesting though is it didn't just do graphics. It's not just a graphic overhaul. They really did just reinvented this game. They really did. They didn't make it Skyrim, okay, which is what I was hoping, because I never finished Oblivion. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, no, I never did. I was it 2006? I remember getting it and playing it, and a buddy of mine played it, and I actually texted him. I hadn't talked to him in 5 years. I says, "Hey, guess what I'm playing? Oblivion." He's like, "Dude, I so want to get that." So we would play after hockey, not together, but we would go home, and I'd have my game, he'd have his, and we would chat on Xbox while we played it. and I never finished it. I closed some Oblivion gates and I did a few quests. It was okay. To be fair, though, I had never played a game like this, so I was always broke. I had no money and I couldn't do anything. So I never got to do anything fun in this game because I had no money and I didn't know how to work the economy and the whole bit. So I just went around at level 1 and just used my rusty sword and then did a few things with that and whatever. But it was okay. But to be fair, I'd never played a game like this, so I didn't know what I was doing. Had some fun. I want to say I put 15 to 20 hours into it before I gave up. And that was that. But then Skyrim come out and it just took everything Oblivion did and did it better. And for me, it just worked. And some games, like you guys have your games, for whatever reason, it just works for you. And then other games don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Skyrim was that for a lot of people. Is that Oblivion, if you loved Oblivion, you loved Skyrim. But even if you didn't play Oblivion or you didn't even really like Oblivion, Skyrim still was amazing.
Yeah, it was. And I think, if you love Skyrim, you don't necessarily have to love Oblivion, where the other way around, I think if you like Oblivion, you still love Skyrim.
Skyrim is just
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Oblivion is a little weirder in its mechanics.
So here's
than
what
Skyrim
they
is.
did. Okay, now I don't have a checklist of things that they changed that they did. They didn't make it Skyrim. Okay, so it's not like you're playing Oblivion in Skyrim with all the Skyrim things, but they met it halfway. And they kind of said, okay, all the stuff that was kind of janky and didn't, people didn't like as much as Skyrim, we're going to make that Skyrim, but we're not going to go all the way to Skyrim. We're still going to leave a lot of Oblivion in here, is what they did.
Oblivion jank.
Yeah. So they polished the edges, they dusted off with the whatever, and it just works, and it works way better. So not only graphically is it insane, but the gameplay itself just works so much better. Okay, still not quite Skyrim, which would have been nice, but yeah, the gameplay it's impressive, and that's what everybody said. It's like, this is not just a graphical overhaul. It's not just a remake of how it looks. They really looked at everything and made everything. They just ironed out a lot of the wrinkles that were in Oblivion. That and maybe that's why I never finished it, because it was a weird game. Like, one thing that I did notice is the combat. Like, when you're swinging your sword now, instead of the same animation, different things are happening. You can actually knock the people down and spin them around, and whereas before it was all just the same until you kill them. So that is different. There's the menus seem to be a little bit easier to use. Everything just is like a little bit better. They still kept, which I wish they didn't, was the your weapons and your things can deteriorate and you have to fix them.
Oh,
That's kind of
they deteriorated in Oblivion?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
So yeah,
that at
this is
all.
what we're talking about here. Is it is night and day. When you see the lizard people, I think, like, it's unbelievable. They've reworked everyone. I mean, look at the difference here. It's just, picture this technology back then. That's kind of what it is. What could we do? I mean, look at that. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
As we're looking at the comparisons here on YouTube, I mean, look at that. It's not that the original was bad. It was good for its time, but now we're 20 years later, and this is what they could do. So I'm about 10 hours in. I got through the tutorial and I'm running around and I'm exploring the map and the whole bit. And there's a lot I don't remember about this game. So for me, it's almost like a brand new game. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this, but I don't remember much. There's a lot of people are talking about, well, I remember this and now it's like this and I remember that and it's like this. I don't have that because I didn't play it much. But from what I remember and what it is now, it is night and day. It really is. And so I'm really hoping that, I don't think this will be better than Skyrim, but just how it looks and how it, okay, so we're looking at some landscape now. I was walking up a hill and it was getting to be nighttime. So the sky was getting dark and there was a storm in the distance. And I'm climbing up this hill, just kind of walking to my next destination. And it's thunder and lightning. And I just stood there on the hill and watched the lightning for a couple of minutes. And it looked like a real sky with lightning going. And I'm like, oh my, and you could hear the in your headset. everything about this, you can hear now, like the water, like when you turn your character, you can hear the water going from different places. Everything just feels like you're in a real environment rather than just a generic water sound and generic wind. Everything just is so much better,
The
graphically, audibly. It's almost
sound design
like
is not something you think about, but yeah, we have 20 years of improving sound design in games too.
And how the water looks. Like, look at the reflections on the water here in this video we're looking at. It is just the reflections of the water are more realistic. The trees look better. The mountains look better. The sky
There's
looks
no
better.
textured, like the actual ground is not just texturing.
Yeah,
textured green, the same pattern of green.
it
So they
really
look like
yeah.
tiles.
I mean, it kind of looks like even like I thought The Witcher 3 had really good outdoor stuff. This is even better than that. And it's just, the grass looks more real, the trees look more real, the animals, the people, the faces, everything about it is just so much better than the original. But again, it wasn't just a graphic overhaul. There's audio, the environment, the menus. They've
And
really
what's crazy to me is that I remember this game looking great.
Yes,
It
When
was
it came
not a
out,
bad
it looked
game.
amazing.
It was not a bad game.
Mm-mm.
Then again,
No,
it's
it's not that it wasn't a bad game. I remember being impressed at how good it looked.
Because
at
it
the
did
time.
look good at the
It
time.
looked amazing for the time. It says a lot about how everything has changed. And
oh
you
my
don't
gosh, yeah.
really think about how much has changed from, and
Mm-mm.
it was a while ago, but it wasn't, we're not talking about the 70s or even the 80s or 90s. We're talking about like this was not
2006.
that long. Yeah.
Yeah, 20, they probably started working on this 20 years ago.
hmm
And we were like, wow. I mean, well, then again, when the Intellivision come out, we're like, wow, this is so much better than the Atari. I
Yeah,
can't believe I
exactly.
played the Atari. That was terrible. And
Exactly.
now I look at the Intellivision. But
Just
yeah,
even
so
the shading and the lighting and the fact that there's shadows that weren't there before.
I don't know if it's just because it looks so good and I'm walking around in this environment with my jaw on the floor
I'm sure
going,
has a lot to do with it.
but it's also the gameplay. So it's Oblivion, but the only thing that was left, they tore it apart. They tore this game apart. They rebuilt everything graphically. They rebuilt everything audibly. The menus are just better. They work better. Things are better. The fire we're looking at here looks real fire, not video game fire. Look at the fires. The difference between the two fires we're looking at. The little orcs and stuff that you fight in the sewers. They got some nasty sounds. Oh my gosh, all the enemies sound different.
Mm-hmm.
The spells. I cast a fireball. Holy cow! All the spell sounds are different. Everything has just been changed. I mean, again, they ripped this game apart. They built it all back up, and the only thing they really kept from Oblivion was the story.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, if you didn't,
and that's enough. That was the thing. Is that the story is enough. It was a great story, and moreover, I mean, that's the thing. Is that Skyrim's story? Skyrim doesn't have anything to do with the story, but the Oblivion story is something that is perpetual, that goes all the way through. So it's so nice to be able to introduce that story to people who might have played Skyrim but never played Oblivion, so that they can be brought into the story about the Oblivion Gates and the Emperor. And then when you actually go into the multiplayer, you begin to realize, oh, there's more to this story than we thought.
Yeah, and you talk to everybody and they tell you what's going on in the whole bit. It's again, I'm only about 8 or 9 hours in. I played 3 nights for 3 hours each or something like that. But just the mechanics, and I'm looking at EC Wraith. He says, if I tried the third person mode, yeah, I mean, you just click a button and you go between first and third, and sometimes you want to be in first, and other times you want to be in third, depending what you're doing. And I always like that about Oblivion, how you could bounce in and out. I think you could do that in Oblivion, bounce in and out. I know Skyrim you could.
Yeah, you could.
And it's just, the blocking text, like the whole combat is different because, I think they were talking about in the original Oblivion, you used to have to like take the block and then hit the guy. Well, now you can just kind of go Leroy Jenkins right in and just start chopping away and not have to worry about that initial block.
Mm-hmm.
But everything about this was just great. The sound of you're in the caverns now, and you have that echo going on, and everything just sounds good. Everything sounds good. Everything great. AC says the Skyrim was janky in third person. I didn't think it was so bad in third person, but this is fine in third person. Sometimes you want that, and you can see your guy. It's kind of neat. Like you can. I streamed it the other night, and it was kind of fun. And I was like going around in third person and looking at my guy and looking at everybody, and it was something else. So I'm looking forward to going a little deeper in this game, and I'm looking forward to learning the story. Looking forward to just going and trying to figure it out. I still can't figure out a lot of things. Like I was given a spell by the Mages Guild that helps me breathe underwater,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not. It says you're not a high enough level to use it. How do I get to that level? And I haven't figured that out yet. And again, you got to fix your equipment. So every now and then you find a hammer, and you can use the hammer to fix your sword or your boots or whatever it is. Or once in a while you run into a place and the guy's like, "Oh, do you need anything fixed?" And so you pay him to fix it. And so right now I'm just bouncing around the landscape. So I did the Oblivion Gate in Kvatch, which is the first thing you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, as you know, you get the amulet. This is not a spoiler. It's a 20-year-old game. You get the amulet from the king. You give it to Joffrey. Joffrey says, "Okay, now go find the king's son," but along the way, you got to go to Kvatch and clear out the first Oblivion Gate, or what I think is the first one. And so you go to Kvatch and the Oblivion Gate, and that's the start screen for Oblivion that you've seen, and you just like, no way, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you go through there, and it's just when you go into that, like, that the hell landscape is all I can call it. You're in Oblivion, and everything's like just looks like hell with lava, and you're just like, oh my, look at the fire, look what's going on here. It is just so the game was okay back in the day.
Yeah.
But I think this graphics now is pushing me to play it more because how good it looks and how they've smoothed things out. And again, they haven't made it.
Feels like Skyrim. It feels like Skyrim felt.
It feels more like Skyrim than it did the old Oblivion. And I'm wondering if that's why I never really finished the game, because it was just kind of janky. I still have a hard time with the lockpicks. I can't figure those out. But
I've heard the lockpicks in Oblivion are a pain in the ass.
They are a pain in the ass.
Sometimes they're not even fun. It's just, and then I'm watching all these videos on how to do it. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I remember the Skyrim one was fun. Of like trying to move it,
turn the
thing
thing, and you can
feel
feel it out.
Like, trying to go through and you're bouncing the tumblers. Yeah, but the thing is that will get easier. It does get easier.
I hope so, because it was. I'm not enjoying that at all. Even the easy ones.
And as I recall, you get an unbreakable lockpick, and that
I just saw that. There was so I'm going on all these YouTube videos now, and people like, hey, here's this where you can find the skeleton key. You got to do this quest. So it's and that's stuff I never knew about. Like 20 years ago.
It wasn't in the strategy guide.
I don't know if it was. I didn't read it.
It's kind of important.
I let me see. I got through to about page 289, and that's where I ran out of steam. Oh, by the way, I bought this at Borders.
Oh my god!
Wow, there's a blast.
That says a lot. That you bought it from someplace that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, like $45 our money.
Yeah, but so I did find the someone said there's a helmet that makes you breathe underwater, and it's like right off the coast of Anvil. There's an island, and then you jump in off the island and get down, way down, and right before you die, you find this guy there with a skeleton with a helmet, and you put on the helmet, and then you can breathe underwater. And it took me like 15 minutes to find it, and I watched all these videos, and people like, it's hard to put exactly where it is, but just it's right about here. So I'm looking at the map, and it's okay, right about here. And I would dive, and I couldn't find it, and I'd dive, and I couldn't find it, and I would dive, and I would die. And I said, damn it, I'm gonna find it. And finally I just stumbled, and he was like way down, like you were almost out of air when you finally found this guy. And so I got the helmet, so now I don't have to worry about that spell, because now I can stay underwater as long as I want in the whole bit.
So Corey Wireless did correct me. He said Skyrim and Oblivion are in 2 different locations on the planet of Nirn. So they are technically, connected to each other, but the stories really aren't connected.
I think in both games, in Skyrim and in Oblivion, I don't know about Morrowind, but I think in Skyrim and Oblivion, there's places you can go like way up on top of a mountain, and supposedly you can see you can see Skyrim from Oblivion or Morrowind from Skyrim or something like that.
Yeah, I did read that if you go to like if you go somewhere in the Oblivion remake and you look in a direction, you can see a tower from Skyrim.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, so you can see the other one. You can't really go there and do anything. I think in Skyrim, actually, you got to this gate, and I don't know if it was Oblivion or Morrowind, but it was supposed to go to another area, but you could never get past the gate any way at all. It was you were locked right there at some point. I do think why I like Skyrim better is not only because of how it played and handled. I think Skyrim was bigger. I think the map was bigger. I think there was more locations. I think there was more things to do.
Yes,
it was a lot smoother and it just felt good. And the idea that you could get married and buy a house and all this other stuff. And
yeah, that is all the stuff that
it took Oblivion to the next step.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. It was the next level of Oblivion. That being said, I am very excited for you to get through Oblivion to get the story, because unlike Skyrim, where the story kind of ended with the game itself, the Oblivion story continues, and there is a shocker, a twist that continues into Elder Scrolls Online. The main quest within Elder Scrolls Online is a continuation of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So you're actually catching. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I never did the Elder Scrolls Online, or if I did, I didn't play it very long.
Yeah, the first the single player main story quest of the MMO, which takes a long time, but it doesn't take an inordinate amount of time. I mean, it's not 1,000 hours to get through. But when you get to the end of it, yeah, you are actually, getting farther into this Oblivion storyline that and having to do with the gates and what happened and how all of these Oblivion gates were opened up and how this all got screwed up after it not being screwed up for generations. All of a sudden there was something that happened that screwed it all up, and who screwed it up and why he screwed it up. It just, you find out that the villains aren't necessarily the villains. So it's very satisfying.
I can't wait. Yeah, I'm hoping I stick with it.
You could do it multiplayer, which is also great. It's essentially makes the Oblivion, the next step of the Oblivion story, a multiplayer experience. Because you can do it it is an MMO. Yeah. Now you don't have to go through the rest of the stories, because obviously it's a very, it's an MMO. It's gigantic. Corey Wallace has been playing it since, puberty practically. So it's not like
for about a year. Yeah, about a year.
Pretty much. So it's not like it needs to, you need to go through all of that, but at least getting through the end of the main story quest, it is a very satisfying experience, simply because, like I said, the enemies, you find out they're not quite,
it's one of those,
the villains you thought they were. So the non-villains aren't, as innocent and, victimized as
so the aliens are the humans.
The aliens are the humans.
It's funny.
I is made of people.
I barely remember anything about the main story for those games, but I remember the side stuff. I remember the Dark Brotherhood.
Oh, the Dark Brotherhood. Yep.
I remember being chased by a horse for miles because I accidentally hit it and it got pissed at me, and so I just had to run.
Oh yeah.
So that's the stuff I remember. Or you stumble across a body in a cave and it's got a note that tells some tragic tale of how this adventurer died in a random cave, and you're like, oh, that sucks for you, but I'm going to take your sword.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I remember.
That's why I play those games, and that's why I went back to Skyrim. Is I saw a video on YouTube, and the guy says, "Here's how you should play Skyrim in 2025." And I watched it, and he's just like, "Take your time, walk around, talk to everybody. Don't be in any hurry to finish the game. Don't be in any hurry to finish the quests. Just enjoy it, and find out everything you can about this, and talk to everybody, and just sit down and have a beer at the pub, and spend the night here, and just." And I was like, boy, and I wrote him. I said, boy, that's an interesting video, dude, because, we always want to kind of get to the end and kill the dragons. But he says, just kind of enjoying this sandbox is a very fun way to play. So that's what I did. That's what I'm doing. My Skyrim plays was just taking my time, and I've done everything I can do. So I'm gonna go. Maybe I'll forget some things, or maybe I missed some things, or go back and do something a little different. So yeah. So I'm gonna do the same with Oblivion. Just kind of taking my time, moving on. Forget about me since I've been gone, and all that other stuff, and just kind of enjoying the world and enjoying the graphics, and just seriously, every town I go in, every place, it's like, oh my, would you look at this? Because again, we're not used to it looking this good. It's kind of like if you played like one of the original Madden or something like that, or Madden 97, and then you say, oh, try Madden 2025. Like, well, this is a football game. I mean, what happened to all? So it is very impressive graphically. They've smoothed out some things, and I'm looking forward to enjoying the storyline. And I hope I get through it, because I didn't finish it before, and I don't remember why. No, I wasn't on the show with you guys yet, because that was 06, right?
Nope, you were not.
There was no GameHounds in 06, right? Not yet.
No.
You guys, I think you started in 09, I think.
Yes. There was. I was not. It was no GameHounds. This predates GameHounds.
Okay.
But I believe, isn't it Oblivion, the game that gave us horse armor?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one that was the running joke, is that you could buy
We
horse
sold
armor.
a lot of horse armor. That
and
was
it didn't do a
that
damn
was,
thing.
Yep.
And that was the running joke. Yep.
And that's where the phrase horse armor comes from, is because you could buy your horse armor in Oblivion, and it was 100% cosmetic, and they charged for it, and that's the first time that happened. So this is the
first
source
piece
of the
of
horse
price
armor.
DLC.
And
Yep.
I believe I may have no, it was, we started after this game. But something that I love about this remake, other than the fact that it looks amazing and I'm dying to go back, and I really, really, really want to be reminded of all of the side, like, you remember all the side quests but not the main story. I remember the main story but not the side quests.
I remember
Don't
like
forget
a
the
couple
winking
of side
skeever.
quests.
The winking
The
skeever.
winking skeever. I met a girl with a hair. Never mind.
But something that I loved about the fact that is they remade it, but they also kept the jank.
They kept some of it on purpose. They did such a good job of not making you forget it was Oblivion, but also making you forget it was Oblivion. If that makes any sense. They did. And everybody that I was watching that was being skeptical about this on YouTube just said, oh, can't say a bad word about it. And everyone's gushing over this, and they should. And this company, whoever did this over, did a fantastic job maintaining the Oblivion aspect and the jank, but making it just blow your mind.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get to, where do I want to be? Why can I not find what I'm looking for? Because it's all hidden behind a bunch of SIG alert stuff. All right. So I am trying to pull something up for you. All right. So come on. Don't be like that. Case in point, one of the things that if you were an Oblivion purist that you may have remembered is some of the voice acting stuff that happened in the game. There were a lot of gaffes. There was a lot of voiceover, Jake.
I heard that. I don't remember that at all, but some people said it was. Again, I didn't play it much, and I didn't get that deep,
Yep. Well, let me. Oh, come on! Don't be like this. Hold on a second. I am trying to get where I need to get to.
I do remember playing a bit Oblivion, and I got bit by a vampire, and I was a vampire. And I didn't like it because it was just kind of, it really limited to what you could do. And so I went back to a previous save so I didn't turn into a vampire. So I did, and then I backed out of it because I didn't like it.
That's cool. I like that.
Okay, so here, case in point, this is not the only one they left in, but this is one of the more famous ones that they did leave in, was this. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
What can I do for you? I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night.
They
I wonder
actually
why they
left
even left
that in.
Why would they leave that in? Like even in the original, was like just a
It was
gap or
a
something.
mistake. There's
I'll bet it was a
ton of them.
mistake in the original. That
Oh
was
yeah, they didn't
that was
intend to leave
back
it in the original. Not by a
before,
long shot.
but like this was pre. Oh, we're gonna fix all the bugs in a post update. Like
Mhm.
this is when you could download games. I think you could download games when Oblivion came out. I don't know if they had digital games then, but like I don't think it was easy to patch out bugs. And so by the time like they noticed it, I think it'd become a meme. And at that
Mhm.
point, it's a meme and you want to kind
Yeah,
of
Right. Oh
play
yeah.
into it.
it
Let me
didn't
let me
wreck the
give you
game. It was kind of funny.
Exactly.
I'll
Yeah.
give you some more of them.
Lady Umbernox has hired a new captain. Lady Umbernox has hired a new captain of the guard.
Spriggans, nature's guardians, my foot. Mean things, they'll curse you, or they might call a bear to tear you apart. Spriggans, nature's guardians, my foot. Mean things, they'll curse you, or they might call a bear to tear you apart.
Double reads all the time.
What do you want, you? What do you want, you rat?
You think someone
I
didn't
heard
quite
that
edit the
thieves broke
file.
into the Arcane.
And of course, this is the famous one. But all of those have been kept. And the reason why that a lot of these happen, and it's one of the reasons why with Oblivion, it was kind of notorious for having some really wonderfully awful voiceover work. I mean, truly awful and yet wonderful voiceover work was that the voice actors, and they don't do this anymore, but the voice actors back then,
Yeah, they did double duty. Yeah.
they did double duty. Well, they all did. They all still do double duty. But what had happened was that back then, these voiceover actors were given a list of lines that were essentially sorted in alphabetical order. So the one line would have very little to do with the next line that they were
No.
reading. So there was no
What? There was
context.
another game that did that. We talked about that on the show where it was they just gave somebody lines and they read them and you had no context of what it was.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you say, okay, right now you're under duress, you're being chased by a dragon, here's what you're going to say, and you just lump that in with sitting around having a beer or something like that. It's just
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
they're trying to keep secrecy or something.
But just you know, there was a couple games I remember talking about here on the show in the good old days before Nick was on. You know, when we would talk about how you felt bad for the voice actors because they would say their lines as like, boy, that's a really weird way of saying it at this point in the game. But
Mhm.
they had no idea what was going on around them. They just read a line. They read
And
the
every
line
line that
fine.
they were reading was probably like it was completely disconnected from the line that they were reading before because they hadn't really created voiceover best practices. They hadn't figured out that if you want someone to be able to read in context so that it actually had good flow, you want to keep you want to have scenes together so that they would actually feel like they were being conversational. You could put two conversations together and it actually had a natural flow. What they were doing is they were just sticking all the lines together all at once in alphabetical order. Just read. Just read.
You could do that with a football game. You know,
Mhm.
oh, that was a big hit. Now that brings up third down. That can happen anytime during the game. Anytime during the game, but you're going to come up on a fight, and you're like, so I'm going to take your gold, or I'm going to kill you. You know that depending where you are in the game or who you're talking to, that you might say that differently if you knew what was happening.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
doing
on
that for a
top of that,
story-based game.
it made the editing more difficult because all of these conversations, these lines that would go together between different characters, they would be spread out and
Yeah.
never in the same spot. So you would have to take a line off of page 52 and then this person, and then another line off of page 108. So when you had that, you weren't listening to all the lines that were that because they will do one line and then do a take and then we'll do another take and they will do another take and then somebody will write down, we want take 4.
Yeah.
So then you have to listen for take 4 and you would just cut it. That's why you got so many of these double reads and the editing was weird because you weren't listening to a whole scene together.
Yeah, you were just grabbing it. Yeah.
You were just grabbing individual lines and you're just cutting. And because the context not only is important for the voice actors, the context is also important for the cutters, for the editors to actually like be able to
know what's going on.
Exactly. You're going to be listening to it in a block as opposed to line by line.
Morrowind didn't have any voiceover. That was kind of pre-voice game. So yeah, Oblivion was the first Elder Scrolls, like the first big Bethesda RPG.
This was, and they were making it up as they went along.
Yeah. And so sometimes it's fine. You know, when you go into a shop, like in The Witcher, like top-notch swords. I love that guy. I saw him a million times.
The arrow in the knee.
Yeah, the arrow in the knee.
I mean, you could you go into a shop and it's like, are you looking to do some damage? You know,
what are you buying?
What are you hunting? Oh, never mind. I don't want to know. You know, those are fine. Those
so
are
many
generic
classic lines. So
those are fine.
Yeah.
And the thing is, after you visit the shop 100 times, you just, here we go again, you know. And Archer, I see. I have just a thing for you, you know. and it's just you enjoy that. But those are not really, you know, storyline driven. Those are just, okay, we're taking a break from the story. We're going to go buy some stuff. Say what you want to say. Don't matter. But different times during the story, you want to feel like you're listening to somebody who knows what's going on. Yeah. So when you get those generic reads, there's been a few channels on YouTube too that I listen to, like that are storytellers, and they'll repeat the line. And it's like, you know, and so he jumped into the house and closed the door behind him. And he jumped into the house and closed the door behind him. I'm like, okay, did I just hear that again? Or so it's like, this is not one long read. You've sliced this together and mixed it up. Okay, I get it. You know, it happens. You know,
I mean, that's all one person. They should know that. They should
right. But it's also listening to everything in context. When you take context out of it, you make it hard for everybody.
So
but
they
were making it up. They'd never done it before. They had not, like I said, didn't have best practices set up. And it was only after Oblivion that they were able to go, okay, this is how we're going to do it for Skyrim, because we need to fix that.
we need
to fix that in pre, not post.
You know, they without Oblivion, there'd be no Skyrim, because, you know, and it's like, you know, if you're a Rush fan, you know, you wouldn't have 2112 without Caress of Steel. Caress of Steel was arguably their worst album. They were at the bottom of their whatever. And then they come back with 2112, which is arguably their second best album next to Moving Pictures, if you're a Rush fan.
You would have no Genesis without Marillion.
Exactly. You need to have something that you build off and make it better. Like, there would be no Digital to Dice without GameHounds. Right. You know? Same thing. You know what I mean?
There would have been no you on GameHounds with it. Wasn't for the the Sanctuary? The
GameHounds Sanctuary.
GameHounds Sanctuary. Right.
Yeah. So it's like everything's like, so you needed Oblivion, and I'm glad they went back and gave Oblivion some love. Because I think I have it on Steam. It was like $5 on sale. I got to get it. $5. I got to get Oblivion, and I'll play it and see if I can get through it this time, because I didn't the first time, and now I don't have to. Now I have the brand new one, which was awesome. And now, of course, the next question is, you know, like anything else, what's the next game we're gonna do? And I have a list. Okay, on my phone right here. Okay, I have a list.
Todd Howard.
I have a list.
Todd Howard says that Elder Scrolls, that would be Elder Scrolls 4 or 5? Elder Scrolls 5.
Oblivion was 4.
Oblivion was 4.
Okay, he says they're saying Elder Scrolls 5 is being worked on. It is a thing.
5 is Skyrim. That'd be a remake of Skyrim.
6. Elder Scrolls 6 is happening.
Yes.
It's a thing.
But I mean, the idea that, you know, picture what's another game we played a lot of? Maybe like one of the Fallout 3. That's right.
Fallout 3 deserves a remake.
Fallout 3 deserves a remake.
No,
Fallout
I
New
tried
Vegas.
That one. I didn't like it. You know, I remember Edie trying to walk me through that, and I was like, okay, made sense. Blah, blah, blah. But when Fallout 4 come out, I think it was better than 3, because that's the one that was in Boston, and I enjoyed that one so much.
I never got into Fallout 4, but I loved 3.
4 was great. So now I'm kind of thinking, you know, because sometimes you can play 4 and you go back to 3, and it's just terrible. You know, it's like, oh man, no wonder why I didn't do that. So you finally they finally hit the mark with their game, and you can enjoy it. The Assassin's Creed's game, I know Nick loved those. I didn't like any of them. I tried a few of them, even the one in Boston. Couldn't stand it. Didn't like it whatsoever. And then they come out with was it Odyssey? They had the one in Egypt, and then the one in
Odyssey.
Mhm.
the one in Greece or something like that.
Yeah,
And
I see.
they changed how you played the game. You didn't have to hold that trigger to run. And excuse me, instead of my guy running up a ladder, he would actually run down the alley. Because before it was the same button to climb and run. And it's like, but when they changed it now, I could physically play that. And I
Mhm.
put in hours to each of those, and those were great. But if I went back and played the other ones, I couldn't do it just because how everything was mapped out and how it played.
Right.
Couldn't do it. So
And the nice thing about this, and I think that this is very intentional on Bethesda's part, is that they want to know. I mean, it was made in 2000. This is a 20-year-old game, which means people that are 19 years old, people that are 20 years old,
weren't even born.
weren't even born when this game came out. Which means also that they haven't really had anything in this storyline for 20 years. They are about to do Elder Scrolls 6. It's really hard. By the time they actually get it out, we may all be dead.
I
They're
mean,
gonna
Elder
have
Scrolls
to
6
have
won't
someone that
anything
cares
to
about the
do with
story
the
to go
Oblivion
forward.
Gates.
Hmm?
It's going to be completely separate from Oblivion. It's going to have nothing to do with it.
I don't think so. And that's why I think that I mean, yeah, it's a 20-year-old game. It's a 20-year edition, which is great. Fantastic, wonderful. It is also, in a way, I think, trying to head off the Skyblivion project. Absolutely. I think they're doing that. But also, I think that they want to have somebody that is in their 20s having played Oblivion. So that when they do introduce this story in 5 or 10 years from now, they actually care about the story. I think that
I
this,
feel
in
like in
many
10
ways,
years,
indicates, yeah, probably, but I think
no
this
one will care,
indicates
though.
that we are going to see a continuation of the Oblivion story, of the Oblivion Gates, of that whole thing is going to happen with Elder Scrolls 6.
You know what's going to
It's
be?
not going to be a Skyrim.
I just figured this out. It's going to be Elder Scrolls in space. That's what it's going to be. Because that's where Friday the 13th went. Remember, they had Friday the 13th. They had 6 of them, and then they went into space.
Jason X.
Wait a minute, isn't that technically
Hell
the
yeah.
what was it Todd's last game?
Starfield?
Starfall? Wasn't that Starfield? Starfield?
No, it wasn't Skyrim in space, and
That was the
was the problem. So if they put Elder Scrolls in space, that's what Starfield is supposed to be.
True.
I was supposed to be an astronaut like you, but I took a comet to the knee.
Corvallis says they put out Duke Nukem Forever and Alan Wake 2 in our lifetime. I have faith in Half-Life 3 and Elder Scrolls 6.
As well you should. As well you should.
Not
But-
Half-Life 3. They're not making that.
So if you guys like Skyrim, if you like the Oblivion story, it is way better than the original Oblivion. I just think it just did a good job, and I highly recommend it for $50. It's something I know I'm going to get 50 hours out of this minimum, so I'm going to get $1 an hour minimum, unless I run into something that just totally like turns me off, and I'm just like, well, I don't want to do it. But so far, I've been able to do it. Again, the first time I remember remember the exploit they had in Oblivion, and a friend of mine walked me through it, is that I killed someone and he had a coat, like a king's coat, and it was worth a lot of money. And you would pick up the coat and then stop and equip your bow and arrow and then pull back and then equip the coat, and then you would shoot, and all these coats would shoot everywhere. Or whatever you picked up.
Yeah.
And so I picked up all these coats that that were worth like 100 gold, and I would carry as many as I could into town and sell them. That's the only way I had any gold to play in the game, and I just remembered that. And I was like, well, that's kind of a crappy way to do it. It's got to be a better way. But again, it was it was 20 years ago.
Way. That was the best way.
Yeah, so I had gold to play with and a whole bit. And I don't remember why I quit playing it. I don't know if something else come out, if something was going on, but back I'm thinking
frustrating. It was many ways a frustrating game because there was a lot of trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
There was a lot of it doesn't really explain it very well. There was also a lot of I'm running back and forth and I'm getting bored. There was a lot of that. But I don't think that that's going to be an issue this time because I think we'll give this game more of a pass on that simply because of Skyrim, because there was so much running around. But we loved running around in Skyrim. That was the thing. We loved it because there was all this crazy shit that was happening all around us
And you
that
just
they
walk down this.
couldn't do in Oblivion because they didn't have the power to do
I mean,
it.
the best thing about it is you didn't know what you were going to find, 'cause everybody's adventure was different. I mean, you walk down the street and I walk down the street, and
Mhm.
one of us is going to run into somebody, and it's going to give us a quest to try to rob us or do something, or here's a note for you. It's like,
Right, or you're
I-
gonna see a something attacking something else or some kind of weird, crazy shit going on that really wasn't they didn't have the computing power to be
Yeah.
able to have a game that would do that.
Mm.
Now they do, and Unreal Engine will allow that to happen.
Yep. But I mean, you look at like where the GameHounds are. Right? What happened?
Claire Wallace says there's a glitch in. I'm assuming when you say ESO. No,
yeah,
that gets
online.
online. That there's a glitch in ESO where you can play your mage's staff like a flute or a recorder.
Or it could be Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
I know that's the problem. Is I'm writing ESO, and that's why when I did the line on this
Banner?
the banner.
Oh yeah, ESO Remake.
I said ESO remake, and I really in other ones I think I've actually put it ESOB.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, yeah. But you look back, to even my show. We do these live chats with video now and show videos, and you guys do that. You show clips of games, and you go back even 10 years, and it was just an audio show, and now you got video. You can show off video. I mean, it's just the whole technology is keeps changing, and
It also
is
makes
nice.
you think in 20 years, because in theory, in 20 years, I could still be playing video games.
I ain't gonna be around in 20 years. I know that.
I'm hoping. But if I am around in 20 years,
if I'm playing video
only
games
make
at
me 78. My parents
78.
lasted until their 90s. I got another good 40 years. But what are games going to look like in the next 20 years?
I don't know. I think it might. I think we've kind of hit a limit.
I think so too. I mean, look at TVs. I mean, when we went from the 480 to 720, and then they went to 1080 and 4. It's like now we're at 4K, and if you showed me 8K versus 4K, I couldn't tell you the difference. I mean, 4K is nice; it's better than the 480, but like Nick said, we've kind of reached our limit to where maybe some people could tell the difference, but I think the average person could not.
I think I agree with you to a certain extent, but I also want to point out that it was Thomas Edison who said we've invented everything we possibly can. There's going to be no new inventions.
Sure. Like, yes.
No significant inventions because we've reached the limit of what we can do.
Sure. But like when you just look at the progression of consoles, it's like, okay, that graphical improvement has gotten smaller and smaller.
Right. Yeah. You look like
generation.
the Atari, started with the Atari. In those first 20 years, when you get up to the Sega
that was
Genesis,
when it was easy. But there's gonna be something. There's gonna be something that there's gonna be a technology.
When they were selling the PS5 Pro, and they were like, "Look at this detail. When you zoom in on these characters in the background, they're slightly sharper."
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, okay, that's the best you got.
But it's all a matter of what kind of technology gets invented between here and now. What made all of that change was the silicon chip and getting the silicon chip smaller and faster and cooler and cheaper.
One thing I will say,
there's going to be something that changes this.
There could be something.
Into photorealistic.
Sure.
Like complete immersion. I'm completely convinced that complete immersion is coming our way.
You just want a VR. Just get a VR headset.
It's not just VR headset. I think that there will be a point of complete immersion eventually. But neural links, complete immersion. You are in
brainwave.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be the way it goes. Nick said it the best. If you look at, so I've been playing video games for 40 years now. Okay, let's say it 40 years, maybe longer now. So what's 1977? Is that 40 years?
Oh God,
50 years almost.
Well, you were how old when you started?
77, 78 was when I got the Atari.
So that would make you 9 years old, 7, 8, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
40 or so years. Yeah.
Close
so
to 50 years at this point.
So if I look at the first 25 years of video games coming from the Atari 2600 to whatever 25 years was, and then I look at the last 25 years, the progression of the first 25 years was vastly different. You know, so if I started at 78 and I went 25 years, which is what, 1993, would that be 25 years? Something like that.
Yep.
No, 70, 78 and 20 is 98, 2003, something like that. Whatever. So
let's go shopping.
On the top of my head, yeah. So if I look at something from 78 and then I look at something from 2000, it's vastly different, you know, compared to 2025 from 2000. Yeah, the sports games look so much more realistic, but the jump is not as vast as it was from like the Atari. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, you're talking about
I'm
20 years. We're looking right here in this game as a 20-year difference. And I think there is a vast difference.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Now,
Yes, but not as big as
that
the
has a
20
lot to
years
do with the chip.
But like if you take Oblivion,
take Adventure, take Atari
years.
Adventure, Adventure. You know, when you're a dot, you know, and you go 20 years from there, did you have Zelda or something like that? Now it's like, okay, we're not a dot anymore. We're a lot of dots, but we look more like a person. And now it looks like
Magnavox, we didn't even have backgrounds. We just had plastic tape plastic things we had to tape on our television to make it work. So yeah, I mean, that was low-hanging fruit, and you're gonna get incrementally smaller until you get a change in technology, and then it starts over again. Then it starts as completely rudimentary,
something
with
new,
massive changes as they go, with bigger leaps. It's not a matter that we're looking at it from the scope of this technology is this technology. There is going to be technology that starts that whole cycle all over again. And I think it's going to be full immersion, neural links, the whole 9 yards.
This is getting deep. This is really getting deep. I was going to say the thing I noticed about playing Skyrim on the PC now is how fast the loading screens are.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting into the neural stuff, but it is, in a way I miss it because sometimes the screen would come up and you'd have something on the screen and you could circle it around with the joysticks and you could look at it and zoom in and be like
3D models.
Yeah, the 3D models were kind of fun to look at. You know, the claws they had and the horses and the whole bit. And now it's like, and it's gone. You know, the loading screens are 0. You know, they're like 1 second long. So
you can't even read the tooltips or the game tips.
I
miss it on there, and it's like, oh, damn it.
I miss it, but at the same time, after a while, I was like, okay, and I've seen this one 10 times. You know, I just want to get to the screen. So that is kind of nice. It really is how fast it loads. But yeah, so if you Oblivion, big thumbs up. I mean, anybody that's saying anything bad about Oblivion at this point just has an axe to grind with somebody or something in the industry because I don't know how I mean, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect game, but it plays better, way better. It looks better, way better. And everything about it is just, if you like Oblivion at all, there's no way you can't like this. Okay, unless you're just a curmudgeon and you're like, oh, I like the jankiness and I like that you can't do. Okay, then play that. Okay, can't
the
help
old
you there.
game is still there.
It's still there if you want to play
the old game on Xbox right now.
But I don't know about you guys, but I like playing some of my old favorite games, no matter what they are, and have them enhanced a little bit.
Yeah, you know, have them look like you actually remember them.
Like, did you do any? I have this thing called the Retron 5. Okay. And it plays Sega, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy. Okay, it plays all these different games. And you put the actual cartridge into this unit. And you know what it does? Is it kind of emulates it and it makes it look so much better than the original. And so I can play my old hockey games.
Not so far off the original that you don't.
No, but you can play it.
Still doing it from the original.
You can play it. You can play it in thin, or you can play it in widescreen. Nice. And so it's kind of fun playing a hockey game and stretching it out and just having like all the sharp edges ironed out. You know, so I can play my entire Sega collection, whatever it is, and it just looks better. It's like, you know, I'd rather play it like this. I mean, I get the old nostalgic tube TV factor to it, but honestly, in 2025, if I can play something that looks better, I'm gonna play something that looks better. It's easier on my eyes. It's nice eye candy, and it just everything looks smoother. You know, the like the PlayStation 2 emulators, or Romulators, or Romeos, I don't know what they're called. But I did a little bit of that. I have the game, and you could burn the CD, and then it emulates it and it upscales it. It's like, this is great. I can play a game, and it just looks better. It looks better than the PS2, and I love that stuff. And that's what this did here. It took a game that I really wanted to go back to, and so yeah.
What did Yves Guillemot do this week? Just be evil. He just sat around thinking, "Fuck."
I don't know. I didn't hear anything.
Everybody's
about
playing
Ubisoft.
that game instead of mine. That's what he's thinking. Well, that didn't last long. So at this point, it's getting to be now close to 5:00. Chris is going to be home in a couple of hours, so I want to
Oh, he didn't need the snow chains?
Apparently not. I have not seen anything from him. He did send me a video of him actually driving. So it's wet but not icy, and it's everybody kind of all going slowly.
Kind of sounds like my ex-girlfriend, but anyway.
Oh, you did not. Anyway,
so before we sign off, I got my Digital to Dice convention in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Tell me all about it.
So I went to this convention in Ohio last August at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it was a tabletop gaming convention for football. And these guys put it on every year, and I decided to go last year. It's the first time I ever went. And I got to meet a lot of people in the industry, developers, game players, people who've been around a long time. And I had such a good time. And I said, so we need to do something on the East Coast, because everything is Georgia, Colorado, Ohio, Tennessee. There's nothing up on the East Coast. And so that guy there, he's the head guy of Play, PLAAY.com. And he invited me to go to his convention, Play.com convention out in Colorado, and speak at their convention. So I'm going to be speaking about Digital to Dice podcasts and a few other things. And I says, well, that's great. So we got Ohio, we got Colorado, but I says, there's nothing here for us guys on the East Coast. So we got talking, and for the last, 6 or 7 or 8 months, we've been planning something in Connecticut, right next to the Foxwoods Casino. And so right now we have, I would say, over 40, approaching 50 people coming. We rented out two big rooms at the Hilton at that restaurant, that hotel right there. And we're going to have our own first ever Digital to Dice con, where people can show up, play whatever games they want. We got developers showing up, showing off their games. We got people showing off brand new games. We have people showing off old games. And it's just a good time to hang around and play, meet and greet, hang out in the whole bit. And we were hoping we would get 20 people. And now we're approaching 50. And this is our first attempt at this. So I'm pretty excited about that. And there's the Play games there. And their convention, right? They cap it. I think they have 100 people, and they sold out. They sell out every year at their convention. And so, they charge a lot more than we do for their thing, but they have a lot more included. They've been doing it a long time. So he's like, hey, I want you to come out and speak about the show. You're a pretty big guy in the industry, and your podcast and your YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. And I was supposed to go last year, but that's when my wife had her heart surgery. So it's like, well, I need to be here just in case she needs anything, And so I said, how about next year? So we said, next year it is. And so next year is here. So in May, I get my convention. And then in June, I fly out to Colorado to Highlands Ranch, I think it is. And I will be speaking there on Friday night, I think. So I'll be getting out. They'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, coming home Sunday in Colorado. So that's the furthest west I've been in quite some time. Well, after Ohio of last year. And I'm going back to Ohio in August. So I have May, June, and August this year.
You're
doing some traveling. Yeah. And then I think in October, they're going to be going to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I don't know if it's going to mention me on there. So yeah, so you can get it. It's a lot of people get in like on Tuesday for this event. Yeah, $120. Yep.
Tuesday. You don't see many conventions on a Tuesday.
Well, no, that's when the people get in there on a Tuesday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh,
that's what it is.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
So yeah, Highlands Ranch, Colorado. And
you can find this, let me get a banner. It is for the Play.
With 2 A's?
Right.
2 A's, yep.
That's the PlayCon for the Play. And then, of course, where do you find out information about the Digital to Dice?
Could you pull that screen back up? I think it had a schedule on there. One of the screens you had a schedule of events. Maybe go back one or scroll down or something. There was one that had the dates, like what was happening on Wednesday. No, go back one page,
Hold on,
maybe.
hold on. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back. There we go.
And yeah, there it is. So I don't know if it's going to say Friday night. What's going on Friday night?
Yeah, sports dinner break. Dave Gardner keynote presentation.
Oh yeah, there it is.
You
Yeah,
are.
yeah. How long do I got to speak? I got a half hour. I'm going to mention the GameHounds, by the way. I will be mentioning.
Please do.
Hell yeah.
Because that's part of it. Because he wants to know how the podcast get up and running, and so I will be be talking about how did the GameHounds and did some podcasting here and the whole bit. So yeah. So that's me. So I'll be there as the guest speaker. So I got to get ready.
Not guest speaker, keynote presentation. Come on, own it.
Can we? Can I make your PowerPoint presentation, please? Can I make your PowerPoint?
You can make one. I don't know if I'll put it on there. You might have some incriminating photos of me.
Please.
Any photos of me with bottles of wine and a CD Boston bar?
I will come if you give me 3.5 minutes of creating a PowerPoint presentation and presenting it that you have no control over.
No. I wouldn't do. I wouldn't expect you to let me do that with you. So
absolutely, I would totally let you do that.
Oh yeah, I know.
Totally let you do that.
No. So anyway, so I'll be doing that. Fun times, but so they want to know about things. So I got to go through, when I'm going to talk about my gaming journey and my gaming journey. So with the video games, to the tabletop games, how that all happened. And then the podcasting, getting on the GameHounds and doing that for 10 years. And then, doing the tabletop podcast and the whole bit. Hopefully it'll be an interesting story. Hopefully people won't fall asleep on me,
No.
And one of the special guest game developers that's coming to Digital to Dice Con in 3 weeks in Connecticut, I met at the very first, I think it was the very first PAX in Boston.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
The one downtown?
The one at the Prudential Center that was in the basement. I think that's the one that because there was one we went to and I stumbled on like a board game area, but it wasn't as big as the ones are now. And they were playing this football game on the tabletop. And I remember like, I'm video games. I'm not here for this. And they said, we have a baseball and a football game that you can play for free. You can play last year's game for free. And here's the code for that on our Facebook page. And it turns out that the guy who was there, which at the time I didn't know, is he's a developer of a game and he's coming. And it says, I met you at PAX East and you gave me codes for your computer game and I still play them and they're older now. But I said, I just don't know what year it was that I thought it was the first one, but I don't know how long he's been making his baseball and football computer games. But I said, that's the very first sports sim that I played was your game. And he's coming in Connecticut. He's still making games for that
Nice.
That game.
Nice.
Yep. So there is a connection here with the GameHounds and Digital to Dice, and that guy is the connection. I met him there at one of the conventions. So
and I will share you a little. You have yet to have. I mean, Nick has met the new man in my life. You have not met the new man.
Where's the red hair? I heard something about red hair.
It came back a little bit. You can't really see it very well, but it's a little bit. But just to give you, just so that you can have a little moment of synergy with him, when he went to college, he was at Santa Cruz, University of California, Santa Cruz. And back those days, you had to live on campus. And there were essentially... you lived in your college. If you were in the College of Math and Sciences, they actually had living like houses and condos and apartments and buildings where you lived in that college.
So if you were in the Fighters Guild, you had to live in the
Fighters Guild. You had to live in the Fighters Guild. Exactly. So his building, they had, I think there was like 4 plexes. And his building were all people that knew each other, and they got together every single week, every single night, pretty much, certainly on the weekends, and they would play sports game. They would play Stratomatic, and they turned essentially Stratomatic baseball into a drinking game, and it was so well known in that college campus across the entire school that the building was known as the Strat House.
No way. Yeah,
It was a Strat House.
I have Stratomatic cards. I have them right here. I can put
Yep,
my hands right
yep,
on them.
and whenever you're on, I brought it up, like, I'm in the car with him or something, and I brought it up, and he's like, "What year is he playing?" That's 1973, right?
Oh,
He's
that's
playing
right. That's right. Yeah.
He's like, "Is that 83 or 82?"
So this is a
total
Stratomatic card right there. That's what that's the basic game.
Yep.
Okay. And how it works is you roll a single-sided die, and that's a batter. So on the first die, 1 to 3, you read off the batter card, and 4, 5, 6, read off the pitcher card. Okay. So if this guy rolls a 1 and then a 3, it's a walk if you follow that. If he rolls a 1 and a 5, it's either a double or a single. You roll a 20-sided die to determine if 1 to 15 is a double, 18 to 20 is a 16 to 20 is a single. So that's kind of how that works. So that's the basic game. And the pitcher card's the same thing. It's more strikeouts and stuff in the pitcher card. Then there's the advanced game, which is this right here. And you got blue and orange, and one side is for righties and one side is for lefties. Okay, and that goes for both the batter and the pitcher. So you got the basic, which is I like to play, is just straight up, doesn't matter who throws what or who hits what. And then you have the other side, which is lefties and righties. Mm-hmm. And that's a Stratomatic card right there. And
they had something called Shots for Runs.
Shots for Run. I can see how you could turn to a game. Yep. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. So this stuff all kinds of ties in a little bit, because some of our community plays video games and some don't. And so it's just, it all ties in. It's fun.
So
it's great.
Again, as a reminder, if you are listening, Digital Dice Con, May 16th through 18th. So that is just in a few weeks at the Hilton Garden Inn in Preston, Connecticut, right next to Fox
Woods. Yep.
Woods. I always want to call it Foxhounds. Foxwoods Casino, which is a fantastic casino, by the way, in Connecticut. So if you'd like to join, I believe tickets are still available, right?
Yep. If you just want to come in and say hi, you don't necessarily have to buy a ticket, but it's just we're just trying to pay for the room. The room is
cost of the event is $80, and it's all was it?
It's 2 days. It's actually
18th. Yeah, 3 days.
We dropped the price to $65, and I think that's why we almost, I don't want to say sell out, but I mean, we kept the early bird price of $65, and that's what everybody pretty much paid. So it just kind of helps us pay for the room. I'm not making any money at this, and the idea wasn't to make money. It's just kind of, to hang out and have some fun. So, but
the community.
Yeah, and what's really weird, and this, it's the imposter syndrome. It really is that so many people like, hey, I just bought a ticket because I want to come and meet you. It's
strange,
weird.
Isn't it? It's weird.
It's like, really, it's like you see me on YouTube, you hear me on the podcast, you see me on Facebook, but you want to meet me in person, and that's pretty cool that somebody would say that, it just makes me wonder that after people meet me and they get that out of the way, like next year, you're going to come back next year, or is this just like, well, I just want to meet you one time and then I don't need to meet you again.
Once is enough. I don't.
Yeah.
Need more than that.
So we'll see how all that goes, but
I'll just have the salad, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us your insight into Oblivion, and of course now
hanging out.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.
We miss you. In fact, man, there's a part of me that's like, Nick and I, we could go to Connecticut for 3 days, right?
The casino is like, you can
almost amazing.
You can almost see if you walk out to the edge of the parking lot, because it's all trees like blocking the highway. If you could see like the tower right there. So you're realistically, if you got in a car and went down the street and come back, you'd be at Foxwoods in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's a Dunks right across the street from the hotel too. I don't think you could walk there because it is the 2-lane highway, but you could get in your car.
We have Dunks here. It's not that big a deal.
But what I'm saying is kind of neat that there's a Dunks right there. So you could just get in your car. You could be there in 15 seconds, And and they have a restaurant right there at the place. And then they have a pool and a hot tub. I went down there a few weeks ago to meet the guy I'm doing this with and plan it all out. So I said, but I need to jump in the pool. So I got there and I jumped in the pool, and the pool's inside and it's heated. It's okay, great. And the hot tub's outside and it's a small hot tub. I said, well, I'm here. I'm going to go in the hot tub. So I get out of the pool, soaking wet, grab my towel. I walk out. It was 38 degrees and windy.
Oh,
And I'm like, why am I frozen? I was like, it's just, it was so cold. So I got in the hot tub, but I was fine. But I was like, and I looked at my phone, 38 degrees. I was like, oh man, it's May and it's 38 degrees. I'm freezing. I thought I got pneumonia. I was so cold. But yeah.
Well, the problem is that now you're in the hot tub and now you have to get back.
Yeah, but you
It's like,
have, but when you come out of a hot tub, right, and it's even if it's freezing outside, you have there is a timer.
yeah.
Your body stays warm
It's
for
very short.
I'm seeing an Oblivion like bar starting to go down. It's
Yeah.
like, you can make it. You
It's
can
like-
gonna make
it's
it.
like,
Gonna make
you
it.
get out,
Gonna
you're like,
make it.
okay, I'm still hot, I'm still warm. Grab my towel,
warm.
haven't frozen yet. I'm still
Like
hot.
the oxygen bar.
Yeah.
You get
start
out
to-
and you're
you try,
like,
to, you try
oh.
to get to the door and try to you're doing a lock pick. You're trying to unlock the door to get back into the heated room of the pool.
And then
Oh,
it's like, do I have enough heat to be able to run back to the pool to start?
Oh,
Like,
man.
no, I'm past 50%. I'm in it. I'm in it. I gotta get in.
That's what it is. If you've ever been in a hot tub, like in a snowy environment or something like that,
Again.
it's like it is weird because when you're fine in there, when you get out, you're still fine, but that meter starts going down, so you can't stay out there very long. You got a minute or so, and you'd usually have plenty of time to get inside to get where you got to go. But yeah, if you can't be sitting there chatting with somebody, soaking wet, So that was so they do have a hot tub, they do have a pool at this place. It's right across from the casino. What's up?
How close is it to Kowloon?
2 hours.
Mm.
Yeah, because Kowloon's up by me, and it's a 2-hour ride for me. So yeah, it's pretty far from Kowloon.
A condition of me coming there is we're gonna have to find some janky Chinese food near.
There's a Chinese restaurant on the road up to the hotel. I've never been there, but there is a
Scorpion
hotel there.
bowls have to happen. And I mean, maybe that's for Digital to Dice second convention, but renting out the Chinese restaurant and turning it and hiring the Left 4 Dead band.
Oh, you remember those from Kowloon? Like they were all like 95 years old. They look like this.
Do you think they're still around?
The Left 4 Dead band was so. If you have never been to Kowloon is a Chinese restaurant that's kind of an institution in the East Coast. That it's usually very large groups, and one of the things they have is a pool. I guess it's a pool.
It's a ship. It's a ship.
It's a ship, and on the ship they would have this just enough room to fit a drum set and somebody that would play guitar and a bass and a singer, and they were literally almost standing on top of each other. And the first year we went, all of the people in the band none of them were younger than like 75.
Yeah.
And we dubbed them the Left 4 Dead band.
I remember that. I do, yeah.
And we Left 4 Dead just never been the same.
To their credit, they played like
they played well. They were fine.
They for a long time too.
Yacht rock radio stuff. They really did. Yeah. So that was fun.
They did fine, but they were,
Yeah.
and we have to hire a Left 4 Dead band if you're going to do
Yeah,
that.
but are they still here?
Oh, I'm sure they're all long gone. But we can. That's the nice thing about Left 4 Dead is you just get another zombie.
We
Just find another zombie.
The thing about the Kowloon, if I don't know if you remember, but when you're in the lobby, it is plastered with photos of celebrities that were there.
Yeah,
I
remember
been
that.
around forever. I mean, like I said, it's an institution.
Yeah,
Is
there's
it
so
the
many
best
people.
Chinese food? Absolutely not.
Right.
But they gave you a lot of it.
But they give you a lot of it. It's good. It's good Chinese food.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
good.
really about being at Kowloon.
It's original.
A
It's
theme
original.
restaurant like nowhere else. I mean, we have a place in San Francisco in the Fairmont Hotel that is called the Tonga Room that is kind of similar. It used to be originally when the Fairmont Hotel was built, it was the swimming pool. But back in those days, people didn't really want to go swimming when they came to San Francisco. So they converted it into back in the day, the big thing was a tiki bar. So they turned it into a tiki bar restaurant. And they would have every hour, they have a rainstorm. They installed water over the pool, and they have a
Foxwoods does
rainstorm.
that. They have a
And the same thing with the
Yeah.
boat that comes out, the floating boat with the band on it that would come out and play, and then they have the rainstorm, and it's kind of like it's an institution in San Francisco. It is by far the best tiki bar anywhere in the Bay
Nice.
Area, but it's a lot like that, where it is this kind of throwback theme to a day when Trader Vic's was the thing, and having a theme place like that was just over the top. So of course you've got all of these celebrities that have been there for the last 30, 40 years all over the walls. And of course the owners take a picture with them every single time. So it's more about being there than actually the food. The food's fine. It's good.
It's
Really
OG
is.
Oblivion. It's
great.
OG Oblivion.
OG Oblivion.
Yeah,
OG
you don't go there. You
Oblivion.
don't go there for the graphic. Yeah. So
No.
the Kowloon's winding down though, so they're talking about scaling way back. So I
Well,
mean,
I think last time we
restaurant
talked, you had said that the building itself had shrunk.
I thought the restaurant part they actually added an outdoor part where they have bands, but they're talking about like making it more of, I don't know if it's a hotel or a function, but they're still going to have some kind of a restaurant. It just won't be as big as it is. So
yeah, a place like that, it's very, very, very hard to run, and I'm sure.
And they ran for a
that
long
COVID
time.
really didn't help them, because the whole thing about that was about big parties. Like if you don't go as a party of 4 to Kowloon, you go as a party of 12 to 35.
Yeah.
So COVID, I'm sure, just absolutely wrecked.
Oh, it did in a lot of places. Yeah. They're still going, and we keep hearing how they're going to do this, that, and the other thing, but they still stay open and they do their things, and they're okay, But yeah, so we can do a Kowloon trip. But yeah, we'll be in Connecticut at least this year. If it goes well, I'd like to do it in Connecticut again, the convention, because it's got to work, and so far it seems to be working. We'll find out how it goes.
Peter said we should dedicate 5 minutes to talking about those pesky fisher cats.
Oh, the coyotes, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The coyotes here in Redwood City on Redwood Shores.
Oh yeah, you've got to deal with coyotes.
Coyotes. It's like everywhere you go, there's gonna be coyotes.
I sent you the videos of the coyotes in my neighbor's
Yours
yard.
are massive, and they're massive here. They're as big as German Shepherds,
Yes,
and
they're
they are
German Shepherds.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I walk my dogs, and I will see one of them in front of me, and then I will turn, and there's 2 more behind me. They are triangulating on the dog.
Yep.
And like, ho, 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 and you start to back up, and then they actually come forward on you.
Yep.
Stalking you forward because they've got guys behind you that you're walking into.
Yeah.
I mean, they know what they're doing.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are herding you towards those other guys so that they can grab your fucking dog.
Yeah.
I have never. I mean, coyotes are supposed to be shy. They get seen by a human, you go, "Blah!" and then they'll run.
No,
these
there's 3 of them.
These guys look at you like, really?
Yeah.
You're gonna try that with me?
Yeah. Luckily, we have a 6-foot fence, so they've stayed out of my yard. But when we used to walk the dog, it was just, because I'd get up in the morning, like when it snowed, and the tracks, you see them come out of the woods. They hug my house. They go right in front of my front steps, around my house to the side where there's only more fences and houses. There's no more woods over there. And it's like, what are you doing over there? I mean,
Looking for cats and dogs.
And it's like, so you see the footprints everywhere in the snow, and then you see them out walking around. Oh, I hate that. Come home at night, and I sent you guys like not only a video of them during the day, but the howling at night. I sent you guys videos on that. It's like you hear them. It's just like there's a dog barking.
I don't know if you could see it. You probably can't, but like right out the window here.
No, the window's all white.
Yeah, right out the window there is a levee. It's just open space, and then the water, right where you see that right there. I don't know if you could, or is that on my TV?
We
set?
can't
That's
see
my
any of
TV
that.
set. Sorry, there's a thing on my TV set. Like, hold on. Right there.
In the white area.
Else, and that's where the coyotes are, and they literally park outside. They park outside of this house because they know that my dogs have been there, and they know there's cats in here, and they literally park right outside the house, looking like to the point where they look up and they know we're in the 2nd floor, and they stand there.
Oh yeah,
and they look at us. Because they know I have dogs, because they've seen me come into the back with those dogs, and they're just looking. And if you like look down and you see them and you walk away, 5 minutes later, they're howling at you. Like I've never seen coyotes as absolutely fearless and aggressive and stalking. They act more like wolves than they act like coyotes.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah,
What's
we
going
have
on
those
here.
right next to our
Now
house.
I don't even like after it gets dark. Nope. I want nothing
Yeah.
to do. I don't
Yeah.
even go out the back door anymore.
I don't go out. I don't
I'm
walk at
only out
night
the front
either.
door.
There's a guy that lives on the next street, and every time I come home at like 11 o'clock at night from work 2 or 3 times a week, and I see him out walking, and I'll pull over and be like, dude, what's going on? So I'm go get my walk in and says, there's coyotes around here. He goes, yeah, I see them all the time. Luckily, they don't bother me. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't trust it. But when I would walk
I
my
know they're
dog,
not
I would
going to come after me because I'm too big, but they'll absolutely.
I used to carry
grab
I
Mia and
carry
the dog.
weapons with me. I would carry weapons with me when I would walk when I knew that they were out there, and I'd be like, well, if I gotta hit them, I gotta hit them. But I would bring a whistle, like electronic whistle, and hopefully that would scare them. And yeah, I would. The woods are on the one side of my house, but not the other. So I would like scoot by the couple of houses that have the woods to get to the main street, and then I don't have to worry about it for a while. But there was a fox one day sitting on right by the main road out here on somebody's lawn. I'm like, there's a fox just sitting on this guy's lawn in the middle of the day, like on a Sunday. And he saw us coming and he took off. I'm like, well, that's the way I'm going. Why are you going that way? Go the other way, you know? And on the walk, people are like, did you see the fox? I'm like, yeah, I saw the fox, you know? But yeah, I don't trust them. And the wife's like, oh, I think they're cute to watch. It's like, no, they're going to tear your dog apart. You don't want them to tear your dog apart in front of you.
They're cute, but they will absolutely tear the dog apart.
Yeah, because that's just what they do. And like you said, they look right at you.
Yeah, in San Francisco, they actually had a coyote. No, it hasn't happened here that I've heard of because there's tons of little kids around here. But in San Francisco, they actually had a coyote that attacked a child.
Oh, yeah, that's when it gets creepy. Yeah. My neighbor next to me, the video.
Yeah, come into the light. That's one of the things.
Come to the light, yeah. Yeah. So the neighbor next to me, that's the video I sent. That was his backyard, right? Because he's right against the woods. And he's got the same house as me where the basement's kind of sunk down a bit. And he says he's got a cat that gets up in the window, which is a basement window, which is ground level. And he says he'll be downstairs, he'll see the cat going absolutely nuts at the window. And he wonders if the coyotes are coming out and going up to the window. So you said that they're watching you. It's like he wonders, and it says, have you seen him? He's like, no, but he goes, this cat is going absolutely bonkers at this window. And he goes, I wonder if the coyote can get through the window. It's like, yeah, it's hard to say. Depends on your window, but it depends how hungry they are, you know?
Yeah. Edie, can the coyotes see the cat in the cat tree from the window?
No, they can't see the cat. Well, they might. No, it'd be very hard for them to see the cat on the cat tree.
Okay.
the cat would be like doing the dance at the window.
That's what I'm thinking. The cat is just like sitting there watching them. They're howling their heads off, and the cat's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Crying.
Yeah, you guys hungry? Yeah, look at this. I have cat food. I'm not even going to eat it.
All right. Anyway, Nick, I would love to continue to do this show, but it is now 5:15. I have got to clean this house, walk the dogs, and make dinner because they're coming in hot. And I have got to go do that. I did not figure that we would be 3 hours into this show and only have not even done news at this point. So
we talk about Oblivion. That's news.
About Oblivion. Yeah, and bottom line, I will add this, and this is because I don't want to have to worry about it next week. In other Oblivion news, so do you remember Mike Ibarra, who was when
he did something at Blizzard?
Right? He was the
guy that did the Flintstones. Did he do the Flintstones and Yogi Bear?
No, he didn't. That's Hanna-Barbera.
I get those mixed up all the time.
Yeah, no. Mike Ibarra was the co-CEO of Blizzard when Bobby Kotick left and all of that. Blah 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 blah. So he actually said, and remember, this is a Blizzard guy. He was saying that before, when they were talking about the Oblivion remastered, he said that it really wasn't going to be that big a deal. He didn't think. He goes, I'm skeptical about 20-year-old remasters. What was once fantastic, now remastered, will never hold up against modern masterpieces like Elden Ring. The bar has simply moved from safe open world RPGs to what Elden Ring brought us all. I would love to be proven wrong, but I'm not. I could be wrong, but I think the gaming community wants fresh and new more than ever.
Well, see,
I heard they sold
What?
4 million copies. Or there's 4 million.
Or right. Okay. First off, he proves that he's exactly wrong, and proves once again
Well,
how Blizzard is completely out of touch with the gaming
I
community.
think he's wrong for an interesting reason, because I think he's right, but I think Oblivion highlights exactly what he's talking about. I think
Mhm.
a lot of other, like the old Assassin's Creed style, a lot of open world games are very samey, but Oblivion has just enough weirdness and jank that it feels new.
Mhm.
I think Oblivion has more in common with Elden Ring than, I don't know what the last big open world was. Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agreed.
He's
And
not
yeah,
wrong, but he is wrong.
he's right. But and Elder Scrolls Oblivion has sold 4 million copies. It is currently now for the year 2025 has had more. He's the second most concurrent players on Steam, more than 120,000 concurrent players right after it came out. It
Right
is
now, I'm looking at Steam right now. Okay, right now there are 33,000 people playing Skyrim.
Oh,
Playing
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Hmm.
Any guess right now how many people are in game right now with Oblivion?
Oh, it's probably more because it is
Like
new.
100,000, I would say.
181,000
Damn.
people are playing
Holy
just on Steam.
crap!
Just on Steam, not on
Okay.
anything else. On Steam.
Yeah.
Holy buckets. Yeah, no. The biggest amount I believe was so far this year for concurrent players is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 with 256,000. So they've got a ways to go, but still 180. I mean, it was 190,000 a few
Yeah.
days ago. It's now 180,000, which means
a
there's
remake.
still a lot of people, and they didn't go away. They didn't go in, look at it, and then walk away. They went in and they've been playing it all fucking weekend. They were playing it all week from Tuesday until Friday, and then
Do you-
Friday they have just been balls deep.
Do you
in this
think?
game.
And I'll let you go. Do you think? Okay, was it Rovio or Vario? Who made the remake here? Somebody. Who's the company that did the remake of
Oh,
that?
it was like, yeah, V something.
Vivario or something. I honestly
Yeah.
don't
Oh,
remember.
Virtuous.
Vir-
Okay.
VIRTUOS.
Okay. So do you think? So they did this thing and they released it, Shadow Drop, whatever, on Tuesday. Do you think they had any idea that they would have 4 million people playing it?
Yep, they did.
You
They
do?
knew.
You really?
Yeah,
Really?
because it was the worst kept secret possibly in video game history. Everybody knew that they were making it. Everybody knew that they were shadow dropping it, to the point that last week somebody went on to, I mean, they hadn't even announced it at this point. It wasn't announced. Didn't know it was coming, but everybody knew it was coming. There'd been so many leaks, there'd been so much talk about it, to the point of where somebody actually went on to the Xbox
Oh yes, I saw that. Yeah.
website,
They
help
said,
bot,
yeah,
and said,
it's
"Hey,
coming. Yeah. Yeah.
when is Elder Scrolls Oblivion coming out, the remake?" And it's like, "Oh, on the 21st." The bots even knew it was coming out. Everybody knew. So there had been so much talk in the last month.
But what I'm saying
We
is,
all knew it was coming.
but okay, everyone knows it's
This
coming.
was a
The whole
PR
bit.
move, 100% of the PR
I
move
get
on
it,
their
but
part.
do you think that, like, if they had sold 1 million, they would have said, "Wow, we can't believe we sold 1 million." Is what I'm saying is that they must have had a number in their head. And if for me, I mean, 4 million people playing your remake. This is
Mhm.
not like hey, this is a brand new scheme and a new IP and there's all this stuff. This is a remake of a 20-year-old game.
I
And
think that they had a clue. I think that 4 million didn't surprise them. I think that that's what they were hoping for.
I think I do. I'm shocked that it's that many, and I'm shocked at the response, that it's like overwhelmingly positive.
Well,
Not that I was
they
expecting
also
crap.
knew that it was beautiful. They
Well, I
also
think
they
it
knew that it was
shows
a good
that
game, and they knew it was beautiful.
the Bethesda's like their thing. People really like it. People really like that Bethesda style of open world games. And it shows how much Starfield did not satisfy that itch, because now people are going back to a game that did satisfy that itch, because
Mhm.
people like that style of game. There's a lot of just being able to pick a direction, walk, and kind of stumble across something interesting. that's something that Bethesda did really well,
and then
but
stopped
not in
doing
their most recent game. And
Right,
so, like,
and
this is the game that we wanted. And
right.
so
I
it's
think
it's
that
fulfilling a need.
Todd Howard did not realize that what made the empty spaces in Oblivion and in Skyrim so awesome is that they were filled with
They
things.
weren't empty.
They weren't empty. And he just said, "Oh, they're empty spaces. We need more empty spaces," and put it in space where it was actually empty. We needed to have the world kind of interacting with each other and weird fucking things happening where you go, "Is that giant chasing a dragon?"
Yeah,
Like,
I
the
want to see a
looks
giant
up,
fight a
sees the
mammoth.
dragon, and starts chasing the dragon as it's flying. It's just like all these like crazy weird things interacting, and they didn't realize that that wasn't nothing. That was everything. It was a living world, and space is not a living world. It's by definition kind of there's nothing in space.
Stand
It's called
aside.
a vacuum for a reason. If yeah,
Yeah, I
and
think the game
that's what we want. We want
fulfills
to
a need,
have a
and
world that feels vibrant, feels living, feels like anything could happen at any moment, and that's exactly what Oblivion
And
is.
again, when if we were all three of us were playing side by side, walking down the same road, we'd have three different things happening.
we'd be playing the same part of the game for like 30 seconds, and then we'd all split off into something
Right.
different.
Yeah,
When I played with my buddy
all
in
be-
06, we would come home from I told you, we'd come home from hockey and he played and I played. We both went into a cave and we both fought something. And I was like, no way, look, I got this unbelievable sword drop. First day playing. He's like, I didn't. I was like, no, it's dude, it's right here. I killed the bear. There's no sword. I killed the goblins. No, I go, I got this unbelievable sword, dude. He's like, yeah, I didn't.
yeah,
So yeah,
yep,
Fun
it all
times.
changes everything. Anyway,
4 million.
on that note, let's see anything else that I had about so Bethesda has said that they will not support mods for the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake. That they, mods were a thing very much in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Even in Elder Scrolls, there was mods. So they said they're not going to support mods. And within 24 hours, there were 90 mods available. They're all out there. Oh my God, so full of mods.
They don't need to officially
The
support
Skyrim
it,
mods
just
though
not
were
shut it
Skyrim
down.
didn't the Skyrim mods, a lot of them they upgraded the look of the game. You don't need
Yeah.
to upgrade the look of this one.
No,
this
this
is
just making the game work differently, doing things. One of them that I was just reading about, where is it? Hold on a second, I have to look where it is.
with Skyrim. I bought the special edition, not the anniversary edition, because the anniversary edition came with all the mods from the community, and and people were saying it was messing up the game. So they said, get the special edition, which is $10 cheaper, not the anniversary edition, because all these mods are screwing things up. So that's what I did.
Right. So there's the player random conversation system remastered. It is an old school Oblivion mod that expands the game's dialogue, and it gives you a bunch of more random options for conversations. And there are some of them that actually fix some bugs. Performance tweaks such as gameplay changes. There's UE4SS, which is an early script extender, so it might help facilitate more expanded stuff like and other mods in the future.
The only mod I would absolutely download and put in the game is the lockpick mod.
Yep, possibly.
Seriously, that is such a pain in the ass.
There's also one called Oblivion, and Oblivion overhauls the game entirely. It turns everybody into Bob. It changes every single thing in the base game to Bob. Let me see if I can pull
What is
it
Bob?
up.
Who or what is Bob?
What is a Bob?
And Bye.
Yeah, what? Why is Bob?
Let me pull this up so that you can see this.
Oh,
come
AC
on.
Ray says there's a shader mod that some have appreciated that makes the colors more saturated, like the old game.
Ah, there you go.
Huh.
Other little things like that. So this is Oblivion. This is the mod, and it will turn everything into Bob. Bob to Bob.
Oh God.
Everything works the same, but it turns everything Bob.
No,
Oh,
just
no.
no. Why did you spend time on this, Bob?
Look, Bob. There. Look all the menu. Bob, 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 and Bob.
That is awful. How is that playable?
No, I know.
Hey, it's
That's
Boblivion.
funny. But
It's
how?
funny. It's hilarious. He's AC Ray says I'm bobbing my head. So yeah, that's so these mods are absolutely out there, even though they said mods, no mods, mod bad. Instantly 90 mods already within 24 hours, 90 mods had dropped.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah,
Mod is
if
fighting
you're
the
looking
good
to
fight.
mod your Oblivion, it's out there. And not only that, they have a script extender now that will allow other people to make mods.
Good.
And also Oblivion, Bethesda had said that they are absolutely not against the Skyblivion guys, and they're
I saw that they
within their
gifted
blessing.
that team Oblivion remastered codes.
Yep. They are 100% giving them their tacit, like I said, blessing to keep going. And, the Skyblivion guys are saying, hey, if they really were against Skyblivion, they would have shut us down. It's not like they can't do that. They absolutely could have done that. They haven't done that, which means that, yes, they do support this. And there is a big enough world for 2 Oblivions.
Well, they got their remastered Oblivion out. It's done exceptionally well. So I mean,
And it's going to be interesting to see what Skyblivion does differently in this Oblivion. The
I
official
was looking
sanctioned
forward to
one.
that because I still think Skyrim's the better game, and it would be great to play Oblivion like Skyrim. So it'd be like Skyrim 2, for me. But this Oblivion here, the way it's fine. There's a few things I still don't like about it, but I will deal with it because I'm a professional and I will do it.
All right. So welcome to the Oblivion episode. Thank you. Let me know. Yes, I gotta go. I have to go clean the kitchen because I totally eated the kitchen over the weekend.
As long as you didn't nick the toilet,
Didn't do that, but I do have to clean up a little bit before he comes home and finds out what a pig I really am. So that being said,
I can tell. You want me to tell him? I'll call him right now.
that being said, let's close this out.
Give me 3 minutes. PowerPoint.
You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 779. We recorded this on Sunday, April 27th, 2025. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola and Holy Gully. Thank you so much, Gully, for being here. If you ever want to get a hold of us, GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. On Facebook, we are facebook.com/GameHounds. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, VIDS, all one word, as in GameHounds videos, but all one word. And also on Twitch, we are the GameHounds. So please feel free to join us if you're listening to us after the fact or watching us after the fact. Join us live. Thank you so much, AC Ray. Thank you so much, Bitters. Thank you so much, Corey, for being in the chat room. If you'd like to join them, again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, every Sunday at all of those locations. We'd love to have you. Now, if you're listening to us after the fact and you don't want to have to watch it on YouTube, you can listen to it as a podcast. We are on pretty much everywhere where you can find a podcast, but we are an Apple podcast. Go ahead and look for us, apple.com/whatever to find GameHounds. And don't forget to also check in all of those locations. It will have a link to our Discord. We are absolutely on our Discord. That's where we make our announcements. If we're going to have a show, if we're not going to have a show, if we're going live, if Gully's a special guest, where we're going to be, all of that on our Discord. So you can go to any of those descriptions, including the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch page. The Discord link is there. Please join us in the Discord. We would love to have you. And yeah, Gully's in the Discord too. And also patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask to help support GameHounds, along with all of your likes, your subscriptions, your thumbs up, your feedback on iTunes. We would love to have all of that. But if you want to take it a little step further, patreon.com/GameHounds. Slide us $1 a month to help offset all of the costs that we incur to be able to, put all of this together, because it ain't free. Have a great week, everyone. Nick, thank you for being here as always. Goalie, once again, you're the wind beneath my wings. You bring a joy to my heart. Thank you.
It was good being back. I will send you my Venmo, okay?
Okay.
So you guys can pay me for this episode, okay? And it was really fun being on again. It really was.
Well, I'm glad you were here. Thank you so much, Goalie. Have a good week, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You see?
Weirdo. You're such a weirdo. All right,
Gotta have
everyone.
my props.
Have a great week. I have to go, like I said, deedify a kitchen, because not only was I making food and being a pig, but I was also repairing a wall. I was repairing a hole in the drywall. So,
Nice.
What?
Good
What?
job.
What? I can do that.
You already put a glory hole in that place?
I did. I put a door handle through a wall.
I feel like you and repairs.
I know.
What? I do beautiful work, dude. I should show you. Yeah.
Cool.
It's
yeah, but like
where it's at now.
the bathroom. I'm not saying you do bad work. I'm just saying in general, the idea of you and repairs.
Oh man.
What?
That's big.
Yeah, well, it's a big repair because I had to put up a big patch on it, but it essentially was a door handle about this big that went through the wall, because there's no door stop, and the door handle went back and went through the wall.
You got to put a door stop in there.
Needs to be a door stop in there. Abso-freaking-lutely needs to be a door stop in there, but it's not. And the door went, and he's like, "We've been living in this house for 20 years, and it's never happened. You're here for less than a year, and you put the handle through the door," and it's like, or the handle through the wall. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I can fix it.
Our refrigerator door, when you open it, hits the wall because it's right at the entry of the kitchen. It's just kind of how it's set up, and we got a wide fridge, so we have a little cushion on the wall. So if you open it, it'll hit the cushion, and not break the wall. Because I was like, "What are you doing putting this in?" She goes, "Open the fridge." Open the fridge. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I have to do. So once I get that all painted, then I've got to put door stops everywhere, because I'm gonna do it again.
You're just going around kicking no doors open.
Yeah, well, the door comes open. I'm trying to, I got a armful of groceries. I'm coming from the garage into the laundry room. I push the door open. It goes bang, and that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I appreciate the fact that nobody else has come through the house with a armful of groceries, because nobody fucking buys groceries in this house.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to feed these people more than just In-N-Out burgers.
How many people are there?
Well, technically Chris and Claire, but then also his dad is probably going to be moving back. So there's a lot. I have pictures of before I showed up, and there literally was milk in the refrigerator. Milk, nothing else. No cheese,
So it came furnished.
No bread.
Was the milk expired or not?
No, it was good. They use milk all the time.
Half a point.
That's
half
all
a point
they
for
use.
non-expired
That's
milk.
all they use the refrigerator for, to hold milk.
Was it one carton of milk, or was it full of milk?
One thing of Fairlife milk, and that's what they use the refrigerator for. And they got food from fast food and delivery.
Sometimes you do.
Just for keeping leftovers cold.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when you're making, video game developer money, until you're not making video game developer money anymore, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, where do you get bread in this town?
Where do you get those cheap noodles from? I want to get those cheap noodles.
Is there a bread maker that I can call?
That's right. Where's a bakery? It's like you get it right next to the eggs. What are eggs?
The general store.
Yeah,
the general store.
Anyway, everyone, have a great week. Thank you so much for being here, Goalie, again.
Let me know if you guys get Oblivion. Let me know if you play. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys play Skyrim again. I don't know.
I will. Absolutely.
I stream it. I'll probably stream it again, the Oblivion. I got it to stream. Oh, it looks so good, you guys. So good. especially the Oblivion Gate. Oh my god! I sat there for like a minute and a half just looking.
I
At the
really
Oblivion
want to
Gate.
see it here, especially because of the OLED.
Oh yeah, you've got a nice big TV now to play with.
Oh, on the consoles, yeah, or even on the computer if you put it on there, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got. I mean, the TV I've got here that's connected to a computer is like the screen on it is an OLED television. Where I'm standing like this, it's an OLED television.
Oh, I just have a crappy old monitor here, and it's like
No,
looks so nice.
he gets like 70-inch televisions.
Oh, that's too big.
his-
No,
too big.
that's good. Oh,
No.
I mean, he gets 70-inch televisions for his and uses them as his monitors.
If I had
Okay,
a
that's a
70-inch
little
television,
much. That's
I
a
would
little
have to
much.
watch it from my neighbor's house if I got a 70 because I can't be that
Trust
close.
me, it feels it's. I'm getting used to it with
I
this thing,
can't.
but it's really disconcerting. It's like it gives me like it gives me anxiety to
Yes,
be
yep.
close to a
Yep.
television.
I can't.
I will say I have a 70-inch TV, and every now and then when I'm playing a game, I sit on a couch that's like a good 20 feet away. But every now and then I'll get up close and just like kneel in front of the TV like a kid on Saturday morning. And I'm like, this is like being in a movie theater. I'm
Yeah.
looking up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
No, I
but
can't.
I'm 10 inches from the screen. I can't sit there for long.
Yeah, I'm
For a
probably
moment.
my nose is
It's like,
probably
this is
24
amazing.
inches maybe from the screen, and it's I've gotten used to it now, but it is was disconcerting. I did not like it.
I
at
need to
all.
have everything in my focus here. I can't look
Right,
out of
I want it to
or I
be
get
right
sick.
here,
I
not
get motion sickness. I do. I
all
get sick.
here. I mean, this is a
No.
what 50-inch television, so
I
it's
get
like
sick.
yeah. No, I've gotten used to it. Now I have to get unused to it. I'd rather have dual screen. All right,
Mm.
everyone. See you later. Love you, ladies. Bye bye.